Chapter 705. Hee hee. Xiaochen thought for a while and said, Shuang, actually, you can buy some better things that are slightly more expensive. You don't have to buy things that are sold at street stalls. Your grandma's illness has been cured. You don't have to work so hard to earn money. I heard that the shanty town is going to be demolished soon. I plan to save money and buy a big house for my grandma. Then we can move there. Lu Shuang had her own plan. In Songning City now, buying a big house in a slightly better area will cost at least a few million, right? Of course I have to save money. If you don't have enough, you can tell me. Xiaochen was not short of money now. He still had 100 million from Qing Zhongfan in his bank account. Forget it. If I take your money, I won't have the confidence. You can't force me to make the previous decision. Lu Shuang said, You'd better save me some face and dignity. Do I look like the kind of person who likes to use force? Xiaochen was speechless. That's not it. Lu Shuang said, All right. If I don't have enough money, I will tell you. Okay. Xiaochen drove to the biggest car market in the city. Not only were there many expensive imported cars, but also ordinary agricultural vehicles and trucks were also sold there. Usually, people who wanted to buy cars went there. The Porsche 4S shop where Jean Bebe maintained her car was also near the car market. By the way, do you know anything about rice transplanters? Lu Shuang asked. I looked it up on the internet. They are divided into manual and automatic ones. The price ranges from a few thousand to tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands. Let's go and have a look. These things are clearly marked. They can't be deceived. How much does your uncle want to buy? Xiaochen asked. Tens of thousands will do. He asked me to give him some advice. In fact, he doesn't know much about it. He just knows that it's easier to watch these things on TV. Lu Shuang said, When the time comes, we can help him make the decision. Okay, let's see. Xiaochen parked the car in the parking lot of Car City, got off the car with Lu Shuang, and walked into the exhibition hall. Whether it was an imported car or a farm vehicle, there were corresponding booths in the exhibition hall. Xiaochen did not intend to look for it one by one in Nua Auto City. As long as he found the booth in the exhibition hall, he could get the information and go to the corresponding address. This was the largest car sales market in Songning City, and it was newly built in recent years. The rapid development of the city made the land in the urban area extremely expensive. It might have been a remote place at first, but a few years later, it became a business district, so the heavy rent made many car dealers unable to bear the burden. After all, they weren't the kind of merchants that could open a business casually. They needed a lot of land to sell their cars, and they couldn't sell them on the second or third floor of a shopping mall. Therefore, building a car city was the common wish of these people. Xiaochen couldn't remember when this car city was built, but he vaguely remembered that it seemed to be related to a certain family. Xiaochen didn't inquire about which family it was. After all, the Xiao family couldn't do such a huge business at that time. It was useless to inquire. However, Xiaochen had been here several times before and he came with Chen Jinping. As a prodigal son, how could Xiaochen not come here? But even if he had been here before, Xiaochen didn't know where the farm vehicles were sold. Xiaochen took Lu Shuang into the exhibition hall. Because there was no planned route, they could only wander around. The exhibition hall was very large, covering almost all kinds of cars. Almost all domestic and foreign brands were there, including some special imported cars. Lu Shuang looked at all kinds of beautiful cars. In the past, she had only seen such cars on TV and magazines. Occasionally, she could see some luxury cars at the entrance of the Warrior Guild, but she had never been to such a place. Xiaochen saw that Lu Shuang seemed to like it very much, so he said, Why don't I buy you a car? You go to the Warrior Guild every day and it's quite a long way. How do you get there? By bike. Lu Shuang said, There are no public buses there, so I can only go by bike. Then you should pick one. I'll give it to you. Xiaochen didn't expect Lu Shuang to still ride a bike every day. After passing by an exhibition hall, Xiaochen pointed at a small car and said, I think this car is not bad. It's quite suitable for girls to drive. Seeing that Xiaochen and Lu Shuang stopped, a sales lady immediately walked out of the store and waved at them enthusiastically, Are you two looking at cars? Although Xiaochen and Lu Shuang's clothes were ordinary, cars weren't a luxury anymore. Many working-class people and even workers could afford it, so the sales lady didn't even think about whether these two could afford it. Most people didn't think about whether they could afford to buy it, but whether they could afford to drive it. After all, the cost of maintaining a car wasn't low. Let's just look around. Xiaochen didn't expect this person to be so enthusiastic. He just pointed randomly and she came. If he didn't stay and take a look, it would be a little embarrassing. He couldn't help but ask, "What car is this?" "This is a new car launched by Chang, an automobile. It's very cost-effective and it's selling very well now." The sales lady immediately introduced, "Whether it's a car or a small SUV, it's currently selling very well." "How much is it?" Xiao Chen asked casually. "More than 80,000 for the automatic transmission," said the sales lady. Lu Shuangshuang was indeed tempted. She originally thought that a car would cost at least a few $100,000, but she didn't expect that the domestic cars were so cheap. They were quite beautiful, especially the automatic transmission, which was suitable for girls to drive. If it was very expensive, she really would be embarrassed to ask Xiao Chen to buy it for her, but this car was only tens of thousands, so Lu Shuangshuang didn't think much of it. "What do you think?" Xiao Chen asked Lu Shuangshuang. "Let's see." Lu Shuangshuang hesitated and planned to think about it. Xiao Chen didn't force it. Seeing that Lu Shuangshuang didn't agree, he thought she didn't like it, so he didn't say much. "And it doesn't matter. This is my business card. My name is Li Shui and I'm the sales representative here. If you like it, you can test drive it." The sales lady enthusiastically gave Lu Shuangshuang a business card. She could see that Lu Shuangshuang was actually tempted. Lu Shuangshuang took the business card and left the exhibition hall with Xiao Chen. "You don't like it?" Xiao Chen waited until they left before he asked. "I think it's okay, but I'm thinking that the car is indeed cheap, but the cost of gas, maintenance and some other expenses are quite high." Lu Shuangshuang said, "Forget it. Let's not buy it. Let's ride a bicycle. It's more environmentally friendly. Actually, I think it's okay to buy one. It's not eye-catching in your shanty town. The main thing is that your grandmother has recovered. It's spring now. You can take her out for a walk. It's more convenient to have a car. You can't ride a bicycle to carry her, right?" Xiao Chen suggested. And that's true. When Lu Shuangshuang heard that Xiao Chen said she could take her grandmother out, she was suddenly tempted, but she still said, "Let's show my uncle the rice transplanter first." "Okay." Xiao Chen nodded and the two walked forward aimlessly. The two of them continued to walk forward. Before they knew it, they had come to the exhibition hall of imported cars. The Porsche 4S that Jean Bebe had repaired before also had an exhibition hall here. Although Lu Shuangshuang did not buy it, she could still enjoy the view. She couldn't help but take out her mobile phone and stand in front of a red Land Rover Aurora to take a selfie. Xiao Chen didn't think there was anything wrong with it, so he stood aside and waited for her. However, when Lu Shuangshuang was taking the selfie happily, she was suddenly stopped by someone. "Hey, isn't this Lu Shuangshuang? It's really you?" Lu Shuangshuang looked up and saw an arrogant, fair-skinned, rich and beautiful woman. She was holding the arm of a second-generation rich man and walking toward her. The one who called her was the fair-skinned, rich and beautiful woman. Lu Shuangshuang was slightly stunned. Only then did she recognize who the person in front of her was. "Su Xiaolu? Are you here to buy a car? Is this your boyfriend?" Su Xiaolu looked at Lu Shuangshuang with some disdain, especially when she saw that Xiao Chen didn't have any brand on him. She was even more disdainful. "Lu Shuangshuang, the genius goddess of our class, I didn't expect you to be so miserable. Oh, by the way, I heard that you dropped out of high school and didn't go to college. TSK. Alas, your life is so gloomy." A trace of anger flashed in Lu Shuangshuang's eyes, but obviously she didn't want to cause trouble or talk to the person in front of her. She put away her mobile phone and turned to Xiao Chen saying, "Xiao Chen, let's go over there and have a look. This is my junior high school classmate. We don't know each other very well." Don't know each other very well? Su Xiaolu, however, stood in front of Lu Shuangshuang mockingly and said in a strange voice, "We are desk mates. Do you think we don't know each other very well?" "Su Xiaolu, what do you want?" Lu Shuangshuang stopped helplessly. She didn't want to talk to Su Xiaolu anymore. She hated this woman very much. She used to hate her and she still hated her now. "Weren't you very arrogant when we were in school? You didn't let me copy in the exam? You even told me to study on my own or else I would have no future. Who is the one who has no future?" Su Xiaolu finally found a sense of existence. She laughed and said, "Let me tell you, I went to college. When she was in junior high, she didn't study well. Usually, during exams, she always wanted to copy the exam papers of her desk mate, Lu Shuangshuang. However, Lu Shuangshuang wouldn't let her. After a few times, the two of them had a conflict. However, Su Xiaolu's family conditions were good. Although she didn't go to high school, her family spent a lot of money for her to go to a high school on loan. She had a very rich boyfriend at school and even helped her to go to a university. Although she didn't get in with a proper reason, she still felt superior in front of Lu Shuangshuang, who dropped out of school. Shuangshuang, is your classmate crazy? Xiao Chen looked at Su Xiaolu, who had a sense of accomplishment on her face. He really didn't understand where her sense of accomplishment came from. Don't care about her. Let's go. Lu Shuangshuang took a deep breath. Chapter 706. In fact, not being able to go to college was a sore point for Lu Shuangshuang. She was very good in junior high school. After entering high school, because she had to work part-time, her grades plummeted. Her family's financial situation did not allow her to go to college, so she dropped out of school to work. In fact, deep in her heart, Lu Shuangshuang still wanted to go to school to study. This was also the reason why Lu Shuangshuang was tempted when Xiao Chen suggested that she go to school. Go? Don't you want to buy a car? Su Xiaolu looked at the phone in Lu Shuangshuang's hand strangely and suddenly laughed. Ha, I know. You came here to show off, right? Take a few photos in front of the car and post them on your WeChat moments. Just say it's your car. Ah. Lu Shuangshuang did take a few photos, but she had no intention of showing off. She just wanted to have fun. Besides, what car did she want to buy? Didn't Xiao Chen have the money to buy it? Does it have anything to do with you? And we are really here to buy a car. Xiao Chen looked at Su Xiaolu strangely. This person was just an ordinary person. If she was a cultivator, Xiao Chen would have slapped her away. However, for an ordinary person like her, Xiao Chen really had no way to deal with her. He really didn't want to lower himself to her level. Huh? You dare to say that you are here to buy a car? Su Xiaolu seemed to have caught Xiao Chen's words and laughed again. She saw Lu Shuangshuang, who was dressed in street stalls, and Xiao Chen, who was not eye-catching. She could tell at first glance that they were not rich. Okay, my dear knows the young master of this car city. What car do you want to buy? For the sake of our old classmates, I will find someone to give you a discount. Really? Lu Shuangshuang was about to leave. Xiao Chen asked in surprise, You can find someone? Of course. Su Xiaolu nodded proudly and then said sarcastically, The problem is, can you buy it? In her opinion, Xiao Chen and Lu Shuangshuang were probably just looking around. It was impossible for them to buy a car. Even if they wanted to buy a car, poor people like them would not buy it after seeing it once. They must have no money, so she didn't mind making a fool of them. Let's go, Lu Shuangshuang. Since your classmate is so kind, let's ask her for help. Xiao Chen said, Although we are rich, we should save whenever we can. Being thrifty is a traditional virtue. It's great that someone is saving money for us. Ah. Lu Shuangshuang looked at Xiao Chen strangely. This guy didn't seem to care about other people's sarcasm at all. In fact, when Xiao Chen was kicked out of the Xiao family, he had seen a lot of doubts and sarcasm. Moreover, Xiao Chen's mentality was different now. He was a cultivator. How could he lower himself to the level of these people? Sure, what kind of car do you want to buy? Could it be a bicycle? It's probably a bit difficult to get a discount. It's not worth it to find someone, but I can buy it for you. Su Xiaolu laughed. You'll know later. Xiao Chen said faintly and pulled Lu Shuangshuang forward. In order to attack Lu Shuangshuang, Su Xiaolu naturally followed behind. However, her boyfriend was a little hesitant at the moment. Xiaolu, if they really want to buy a car, are we really going to find someone for them? De Kuan, do you think they can buy it? Do they look like people who can afford it? Su Xiaolu curled her lips. Didn't I tell you before? She is Lu Shuangshuang, the person I hated the most in junior high school. She relied on her good grades to lecture me all day long. What's this? Isn't she still not in university? I know, but she looks quite pretty. De Kuan looked at Lu Shuangshuang's back with a perverted look. How could Su Xiaolu not see De Kuan's intention? She pinched him and said, What's wrong? Are you interested in her? That's not necessarily the case. This kind of poor girl can only be played around. De Kuan said quickly. How about this? You help me embarrass her today and I will allow you to play with her. How about that? Su Xiaolu thought about it and said. Really? Okay, then I will help you put on a facade today. De Kuan immediately agreed. In his opinion, if he wanted to hook Lu Shuangshuang, he had to show his strength. Since this girl took selfies in front of those famous cars, she must be a gold digger. When the time comes, she might be easily hooked. Just like that, they followed Xiao Chen and Lu Shuangshuang forward. This time, they didn't continue to look at other cars. Instead, they went directly to the agricultural vehicle sales exhibition hall. They saw a rice transplanter specialty shop and walked in. Su Xiaolu and De Kuan were a little dumbfounded. Why are we here? Are you here to look at the rice transplanter? Our rice transplanters are the best sold here. What kind do you want to see? Automatic or semi-automatic? There is also manual. A salesman immediately greeted them and introduced enthusiastically. Automatic, the one that sells better, the one that has a higher price-performance ratio, and it's not easy to malfunction. Which one is it? Xiao Chen asked directly. In his opinion, since he was working for someone, he naturally had to buy the most suitable one. Oh, that's this one. This product is powered by a small gasoline engine. It has four-wheel drive and a stepless transmission. It uses a double-row rotary transplanter to achieve high-speed transplanting. The salesman skillfully introduced the best-selling product. How much is this? After listening to the introduction, Lu Shuangshuang was a little tempted. The functions that her uncle mentioned were all covered by this product. The price of this one is 120,000 yuan. If it's delivered to your door, it's guaranteed to be successful, said the salesman. Oh, then this is it. After Xiao Chen finished speaking, he turned to look at Su Xiaolu and said, You look for the person. What? Su Xiaolu's eyes widened. What is this? The car that Lu Shuangshuang wants to buy is a rice transplanter? How can I find the person? Isn't this a joke? De Kuan also had a look of amazement. He said with some puzzlement, Don't joke around. The car that you want to buy is this car? Yes. Lu Shuangshuang nodded affirmatively. My uncle asked me to help him buy this car. Su Xiaolu, can you find someone to give you a discount? This? Su Xiaolu's face was filled with black lines. She couldn't help but look at De Kuan. De Kuan looked at Lu Shuangshuang's somewhat expectant gaze and clenched his teeth. Forget it. It's just a favor. It's really not worth it. However, in order to woo Lu Shuangshuang, he could only pretend. He couldn't help but take out his phone and dial a number. Brother Monkey, I'm De Kuan. Kuan-zi, do you remember me? De Kuan dialed the phone and his tone was extremely enthusiastic. De Kuan? Oh, Zheng Xiaokuan? Asked Brother Monkey on the other side of the phone. No, I'm Yang Xuankuan. We were junior high school classmates. De Kuan quickly introduced himself. Brother Monkey, did you forget? We met at the junior high school reunion last time. You even gave me your contact information and asked me to look for you. Oh, what's the matter? Asked Brother Monkey. This is the case. I have a friend who wants to buy a car. Didn't you say that the car belongs to you? Do you think you can give me a discount? De Kuan asked carefully. He prayed in his heart. Please don't reject it. If he rejected it, he would lose face. What car? Asked Brother Monkey. It's a rice transplanter. De Kuan braced himself and said. F***ck off. Are you making fun of me? When Brother Monkey heard it, he thought that De Kuan was talking nonsense to make a fool of himself. He hung up the phone unhappily. De Kuan was shocked, but he didn't dare to put down the phone directly. He looked at Xiao Chen and Lu Shuangshuang on the other side of the phone and said, Brother Monkey, can you help me ask? I'm not familiar with this area. Okay, then I'll wait for your news. After saying that, De Kuan put away the phone and smiled at Lu Shuangshuang. My buddy said that he's not familiar with rice transplanters. If it's those luxury cars like Porsche, BMW or Mercedes-Benz, he can talk to them. Oh. Xiao Chen wanted to laugh. He was a cultivator. He heard the voice on the other side of the phone clearly. This De Kuan was ridiculed, but he still had the face to act cool. He was really a weirdo. However, the voice on the other side of the phone seemed a little familiar. On the other side, Brother Monkey hung up the phone. A man next to him asked, Skinny Monkey, who called you? What do you want? A junior high school classmate of mine wants to buy a car from me. I'll give him a discount. Brother Ming, do you think this person is sick? I asked him what car he wanted and he told me to buy a rice transplanter. I think he's making fun of me during the Chinese New Year. The next time I see him, I'll kill him. Brother Monkey, who was called Skinny Monkey, said angrily. What is a rice transplanter? The person called Brother Ming obviously hadn't heard of this magical thing. Oh, it's a kind of agricultural vehicle. Skinny Monkey said, it can automatically transplant rice or something. In this car city there are people who sell this thing? Brother Ming was a little surprised. Yes, it seems so. Skinny Monkey nodded. Bring me to see what it is. I happen to have nothing to do. I haven't seen such a magical thing before. Brother Ming was obviously bored during the Chinese New Year. Today he brought his little brother, Skinny Monkey, to stroll around his car city. Previously he maintained his Land Rover. Before he finished the maintenance, he wandered around the exhibition hall. He heard that there was such a fun thing. Of course he wanted to see it. Alright, let's go and take a look. Skinny Monkey found a staff member to ask where the agricultural vehicle was sold. Then he ran over with Brother Ming. Finished looking for the person? What do you mean? Why isn't there any news? Xiao Chen asked impatiently. After waiting for a long time, this Dekuan was really patient. Why didn't he get lost? When the salesman heard that these people knew someone and could get a discount, he wasn't anxious. He waited at the side. Who knew if he knew the boss? Oh wait. There will be news in a while. Dekuan naturally couldn't say that his phone was hung up. He was thinking in his heart. How can I smooth things over? Su Xiaolu didn't know. She looked at Lu Shuangshuang arrogantly and mockingly. You're buying this car? Why don't you buy a Land Rover? Just now you were taking photos at the Land Rover exhibition hall, right? Chapter 707. I've bought it. Xiao Chen said plainly, I don't need to buy any more. Ah, you've bought it? When Su Xiaolu heard it, she was instantly amused. Lu Shuangshuang, you really look for the right person. Your boyfriend is just like you. He's really good at pretending. Did you buy it? That's right. We came here in the Land Rover. Lu Shuangshuang was really a little annoyed at this moment. The Su Xiaolu was really a snob. If Xiao Chen's identity was revealed, they would be scared to death. However, Lu Shuangshuang wasn't the kind of person who would talk too much. If Xiao Chen didn't say it, she wouldn't say it either. You came in a car? Sure, we can go out together later. How about you let me see your car? Su Xiaolu smiled at Lu Shuangshuang. Then. Lu Shuangshuang just wanted to agree, but she turned her head and looked at Xiao Chen. Can I let her see it? Whatever. Let her see it. It's not bad anyway. Xiao Chen shrugged indifferently. Then you can see it later. Lu Shuangshuang nodded. Ah sure. Right, Dekuan, how was it? Su Xiaolu didn't bother with these two people. She felt that these two people were too prideful. It was meaningless. Facts speak louder than words. It would be clear when they went out later. Let's wait and see. Dekuan was helpless. He could only hold on. At this time, Skinny Monkey and Brother Ming came nearby. Skinny Monkey was looking around to help Brother Ming find a rice transplanter. His eyes scanned and fixed on a spot not far away. He was shocked. Brother Ming, look over there. What? Brother Ming was taken aback. He looked in the direction that Shou Ho was pointing. It was a shop that specialized in rice transplanters. However, in the next moment, his eyes narrowed and he hurriedly rushed over with Shou Ho following closely behind. Dekuan was in a dilemma. He was anxious. He subconsciously looked around. When he turned around, he saw Skinny Monkey running over, and the legendary young master, Brother Ming. He was instantly ecstatic. Brother Monkey really gave me face. Not only did he come personally, but he also brought the young master, Brother Ming. I'm really proud. The next moment, Dekuan hurried to the door with a smile and made a greeting gesture. Brother Monkey, this is Brother Ming. However, the two people who came in didn't stop at all. It was as if they didn't see Dekuan. They went around him and stopped in front of Xiao Chen. Brother Ming said flatteringly, Boss Xiao Chen, you're here. Why didn't you inform me? Little Lu, why are you here? Is this Motor City owned by your family? Xiao Chen suddenly remembered that the voice on Dekuan's phone was Skinny Monkey. At that time, he remembered that this car city was the territory of an aristocratic family. It turned out to be the Lu families. Haha, yeah. Boss Xiao Chen, do you want to buy a car? Lu Zhiming asked with a smile. Xiao Chen was getting more and more ruthless recently. The Lu family was naturally happy. Otherwise, the Lu family was at the bottom of the aristocratic families and was in danger. Usually they were afraid of being replaced by other families. Now that they had a backer like Xiao Chen, Lu Zhiming had also become a hero. Lu Siwen had some resentment towards Lu Zhiming messing around all day, but he actually became Xiao Chen's underling. Lu Siwen was quite happy. Now, whenever he encountered a strong enemy, he could directly scare them. My son's boss is Xiao Chen. If you're not convinced, he will cripple you when he comes. Then the other party would be convinced. Xiao Chen's reputation in Songning City was still very scary. Oh, I want to buy a car, but I can't afford it. I don't know what his name is. He said he can find someone to give him a discount. We are waiting here. Xiao Chen pointed to Dekuan and said, Ah. Skinny Monkey was suddenly stunned, then he quickly turned to Yang Shuangkuan and said, Dekuan, why didn't you say earlier that you were looking for someone to buy a car for Brother Xiao? Really, you really want to buy a rice transplanter? Yes. Dekuan saw that Skinny Monkey finally remembered him and he was very happy. Just now, when he saw Lu Zhiming and Skinny Monkey go straight to Xiao Chen, his heart suddenly skipped a beat. Did I make a mistake? These two, how could they know Skinny Monkey and Brother Ming? Oh, then why do we still need money? Lu Zhiming waved his hand and said to the salesman, just issue the invoice directly. Keep the invoice to offset the next year's rent. Ah yes yes. The salesman nodded quickly. He naturally knew Lu Jinming. He knew that he was the young master of Motor City. If he said that it could offset the rent, then it would definitely be offset. So, he quickly issued the invoice and said, "Please leave the delivery address." Lu Shuangshuang didn't expect things to go so smoothly, but she still looked at Xiao Chen with some hesitation. "This doesn't cost money?" "Oh, since little Lu said that I don't need to spend, then I won't spend," Xiao Chen said faintly. He also understood that the Lu family was like a fish in water at the aristocratic family level with the help of his name recently. However, Xiao Chen turned a blind eye to this little brother. After all, little Lu's crucial recording had helped Xiao Chen a lot. Without that recording, Xia Shibin wouldn't have been able to rely on him so easily. It could be said that Lu Jinming's credit was still very big. Lu Shuangshuang didn't say much. She left the address and then turned to look at Su Xiaolu as if she had vented her anger. "Didn't you say that I can't afford a car? This time I don't have to buy it. Someone gave it to me." "This?" Su Xiaolu cursed in her heart. "Look at you and you still want to buy a farm car. You must be very poor. I don't know how you got lucky, but this man named Xiao Chen took a fancy to you. As a result, you soared to the sky. However, when he got tired of playing with you, he would dump you." Thinking of this, Su Xiaolu couldn't help but say, "Isn't it just buying a farm car? If you have the ability, go buy a Land Rover. Weren't you taking a selfie just now? Your boyfriend is so powerful. Why don't you get him to buy it for you?" Su Xiaolu rolled her eyes and said such a thing. She didn't know the capabilities of Lu Jinming and Thin Monkey-like. In her opinion, so what if the other party was the boss of Car City? De Kuen's family also opened a large bathing and entertainment center. If they didn't buy a car, who would deal with them? So even if Xiao Chen knew Lu Jinming and Thin Monkey-like, it didn't matter. She was so angry that she wanted to trick them. First of all, didn't Lu Jinming give them a car? Then why don't you give them a Land Rover? Second, even if you don't, Xiao Chen, you are so powerful. Why don't you buy one? Third, if I don't buy it, it will definitely cause a knot in Lu Shuangshuang's heart. At that time, I can successfully provoke her and get this chick for my boyfriend to play with. At that time, I can dump her and humiliate her. However, these few words suddenly made De Kuen angry. He did help Su Xiaolu to act cool in front of Lu Shuangshuang, but since he saw that Lu Jinming and Thin Monkey-like knew Xiao Chen and even called Xiao Chen boss, he was a little dumbfounded. Wasn't he asking for trouble? Even the young master of Car City called him brother. How could he be so arrogant and think that he couldn't afford a car? Wasn't this a joke? Just as he was thinking about how to remedy it, Thin Monkey-like took the initiative to talk to him. He was planning to smooth things over, but he didn't expect Su Xiaolu to shoot at Lu Shuangshuang again. He was so angry that he was about to explode. He slapped Su Xiaolu's face without thinking. "Did you take your medicine today? Why are you talking nonsense? What do you want to buy? Why do you care what people buy?" Lu Jinming thought that Xiao Chen was looking for De Kuen to help him buy a car. He felt that something was wrong. Did Xiao Chen need a discount to buy a car? Even if there was a discount, he didn't need to look for him. How convenient was it for him to look for me? Of course, he didn't think too much before. He just thought about how to please Xiao Chen. Now, after listening to Su Xiaolu's words and watching Yang Xuanquan's performance, he immediately understood what was going on. Lu Jinming glanced at Thin Monkey-like, and Thin Monkey-like immediately understood. He looked at De Kuen with an unfriendly gaze. "What are you doing here?" "We are actually here to buy a car." De Kuen was a little depressed. He lowered his head and said carefully. "What car?" asked Thin Monkey-like. It's the Land Rover Aurora that Lu Shuangshuang was looking at." De Kuen didn't dare to hide and answered truthfully. In fact, they were looking at cars previously, and the car that Su Xiaolu was interested in was the one that Lu Shuangshuang took a photo of. Therefore, Su Xiaolu was a little annoyed and mocked Lu Shuangshuang with a sense of superiority. "Oh, did you buy it?" asked Thin Monkey-like. "Yes, I just paid for it. I will pick up the car later and go to the forest shop to help me decorate it." De Kuen answered carefully. "Well, that's great. If you give this car to her, she will have it." Thin Monkey-like pointed at Lu Shuangshuang and then looked at Lu Jinming proudly. "Brother Ming, what do you think of my idea? Didn't this Su Xiaolu mock that sister-in-law doesn't have a car? If we give his car to sister-in-law, she will have it, right?" "Yes, yes, yes." When Lu Jinming heard it, he nodded continuously. "Monkey-like, you have become smarter recently." "That's right. Didn't Brother Ming say that the current era is the era of intelligence? We all have to be smarter and learn from Boss Xiao Chen," said Thin Monkey-like. De Kuen's face was a little pale. A Land Rover Aurora is already 700,000 yuan. How can he just give it away? But the main problem is, isn't he going to send it off? Does he dare not to send it off? He heard Lu Zhenming call Lu Shuangshuang's sister-in-law. If he doesn't send it off, then he will be dead. Haha, needless to say, I saw sister-in-law taking a selfie just now. I thought that sister-in-law must like this car. Haha, this is the invoice for the payment just now. Just in time to change the name and reopen it. Haha. De Kuan laughed a little miserably, but there was no other way. Others didn't know, but he understood what Lu Zhenming meant to his family. His family was a bathing and entertainment center. Usually they had to rely on Lu Zhenming's Lu family gang. If they offended Lu Zhenming, their business would probably not be able to continue. Thinking about it, a car was nothing. However, Su Xiaolu was dumbfounded. Brother Kuan, didn't you say that the car was bought for me? Why did you give it away? Chapter 708. I think you really don't have any medicine. How can you talk like a cute girl? You are with me every day. Why do you need a car? Don't I have a car? You can take my car. De Kuan glared at Su Xiaolu and said angrily. Oh. Su Xiaolu was speechless. But she also saw that the situation was not right. She shrank her head and did not dare to say anything more. The thin monkey-like man grabbed the invoice and said lightly, then it's all right. Go ahead. We will change the name. Yes. De Kuan was depressed, but he did not dare to say anything more. He could only nod. Lu Shuangshuang looked at Su Xiaolu sympathetically and said to Xiao Chen in a low voice, how about, we don't take her car? She is quite pitiful, Xiao Chen frowned. But since Lu Shuangshuang said so, a car was really nothing to Xiao Chen now. It was no longer the time when he and Jean Bebe cheated cars. He was about to speak when Su Xiaolu heard Lu Shuangshuang's words. She suddenly jumped up as if she was crazy. She pointed at Lu Shuangshuang and shouted, Lu Shuangshuang, I don't want you to pretend to sympathize with me, and I don't need you to preach to me. What are you? Isn't it just a powerful man? What's so great about that? You're still poor. Su Xiaolu, that's enough. De Kuan was furious. He kicked Su Xiaolu's butt and made her fall flat on her face. He had just calmed down this matter by using a car to appease Lu Zhenming's anger. Was Su Xiaolu crazy? Did she want his business to close down or something? Forget it. She is crazy. Let's go. Xiao Chen shook his head and gave up the idea of returning the car to her. This crazy woman was really unreasonable. Seeing that Xiao Chen didn't say much, Lu Zhenming naturally wouldn't say anything. He accompanied Xiao Chen to the previous Land Rover 4S shop. With Lu Zhenming here, it was very easy to reissue the invoice. If it was an ordinary customer, it would be troublesome to issue a new invoice. However, Lu Zhenming settled it with a few words. When the manager of the 4S shop saw that the car was Lu Zhenming's, he immediately asked someone to inform the workshop to add more facilities. Lu Shuangshuang felt like she was in a dream. She wanted to buy a cheaper car before, but in the blink of an eye, she got a Land Rover Aurora? You haven't spent any money yet? I don't think it's a good idea for us to do this. Lu Shuangshuang had a bad feeling about it. Why didn't you think it was bad when you asked me for 10,000 yuan? Xiao Xiao didn't know whether to laugh or cry. That was something I sold to you. I didn't ask for it for free. Lu Shuangshuang said. This car was actually given to Lu Zhenming by that De Kuan. Lu Zhenming is my underling. This is between me and him. You don't have to think too much. Xiao Chen explained. Yeah, speaking of it, it was De Kuan who took advantage of it. When the time comes, take care of his entertainment city and let those little punks not cause trouble. How much trouble did he save? Lu Zhenming quickly explained. He gave me a car. He really took advantage of it. I see. After Lu Shuangshuang heard it, she felt at ease. Right, do you have a driver's license? Xiao Chen suddenly thought of an important question. Yes. Lu Shuangshuang's answer was a bit unexpected to Xiao Chen. You have a driver's license? And I was thinking about driving a tourist car. Because the telescope business isn't very good, before I met you, I planned to change my career. Lu Shuangshuang said, I heard that many travel companies hire beautiful female drivers for their tourist cars. The salary is not low. Well, then I'm relieved. Xiao Chen nodded. After the procedures were done, Lu Zhenming naturally didn't want to be a third wheel. He said directly, Boss Xiao Chen, do you drive the car back first or should I ask them to get the license plate directly? Just do it directly. Xiao Chen didn't want to waste time. Okay. Lu Zhenming responded and asked Skinny Monkey to arrange it. Where should I send the car? If you can't find me, send it directly to the Warriors Market. Lu Shuangshuang should be there during the day. You call her. Xiao Qin gave Lu Shuangshuang's number to Lu Jinming. After the things here were done, Xiao Qin left Car City with Lu Shuangshuang. Lu Shuangshuang called her uncle and told him that the rice transplanter was bought. He could receive it there. As for the price, Lu Shuangshuang didn't say much. She just said that she had earned some savings in the city over the years. It would be a gift for her uncle. Although her uncle was embarrassed to accept it, Lu Shuangshuang didn't say much. He could only give up and express his gratitude. Where are we going? Lu Shuangshuang got in the car. She was a little excited. I can't believe I have become a car owner. To the hotel? Xiao Qin asked. What? Didn't you say you won't go today? Lu Shuangshuang glanced at Xiao Qin. Then forget it, Xiao Qin said with a smile. Then let's go, Lu Shuangshuang said. Hee hee. Xiao Qin smiled. Lu Shuangshuang was a very emotional person. She wouldn't avoid some topics because of shyness and deliberately avoid something. She also missed Xiao Qin. They hadn't seen each other for a long time. Since the last time they parted at the Warriors Guild, they hadn't been intimate. Lu Shuangshuang actually missed it too. The night passed uneventfully. The next morning Xiao Qin returned to the Xiao family. However, he saw Xiao Zhao's black face and red eyes. It was a little scary. Xiao Qin was shocked. Xiao, what happened to you? Xiao Qin asked quickly. Brother, why didn't you come back last night? I waited for you all night and only fell asleep in the morning. I only slept for 2 hours. Xiao looked at Xiao Qin with resentment. Where did you go? I went to see a friend. Xiao Qin was a little embarrassed. He didn't expect Xiao to really wait for him to go back at night. This gave him a headache. Before he came back, Xiao Zhao's life was quite good. She didn't have trouble sleeping. Why did she have this problem when he came back? Xiao looked at Xiao Qin up and down. A girl? Yes. Xiao Qin didn't deny it. I knew it. A trace of helplessness flashed across Xiao Zhao's face. Brother, how many do you have? Aren't you afraid of dying from exhaustion? I won't die from exhaustion. Your brother is also someone who can fight against a general. I won't die from exhaustion. Xiao Qin smiled bitterly. Xiao, don't you have a gathering with your classmates tonight? You should sleep. Oh, then I'll go to sleep. You're not allowed to go out. Wait for me to wake up. Xiao nodded. She didn't force Xiao Qin to accompany her during the day. Qing Minjing and the Qing family all came to the Quishan sect. They were arranged to stay in a courtyard, which was actually a place for ordinary outer sect disciples to cultivate. Although Yao Baoang was an outstanding person among the younger generation, his position in the sect wasn't very high. Little Yao had died outside, becoming a disgrace to the sect. Naturally, no one wanted to stand up for him. When his body was brought back to the sect, it was just a hasty burial. As for Yao Baoang, he also began to endure hardships to test his courage. As Yao Baoang's fiancé, Qing Minjing naturally had the right to cultivate the sect's mental cultivation method. Early the next morning, Qing Zhongfan brought her to the sutra depository and let her choose a suitable mental cultivation method. This was also the sect's rule. After bringing her over, Qing Zhongfan didn't care anymore. From his point of view, since Qing Minjing had come to the Quishan sect, she was like a fish in a bowl. There was no way she could get out. The so-called 3-year agreement was all nonsense. Qing Tianqiu and Qing Zhongming sighed. They didn't expect that the Qing family, who had been powerful in Songning City for many years, would be gone overnight. From now on, there was no longer a Qing family in Songning City. Qing Tianqiu regretted signing the contract with the Quishan sect. However, it was useless to deny it. Qing Zhongfan was so scheming that he even deceived him. I'm the one who harmed the Xiao family in Zhongqian. I should have seen through Qing Zhongfan's wild ambition long ago. Qing Tianqiu was a little helpless. Zhongming, it seems that you're still the best. Father, it's already happened. It's useless for us to regret it. Xiao Qin said that he would definitely come to pick up Minjing. We'll just wait for him here. Qing Zhongming suddenly laughed. Actually, it's quite tiring to be the first person in Songning City. It's better to live a peaceful life here. That's true. Qing Tianqiu nodded. At noon, Qing Minjing came back with a mental cultivation method incantation. She just needed to register it at the entrance of the sutra depository. Anyway, these mental cultivation methods were copied versions for the sect's disciples to borrow at any time. Grandpa, Father, I'm going to practice. Please tell Mother that I won't come out for dinner. Just send it to my room. Since Qing Minjing was already here, she decided not to waste these 3 years. She had to seize every minute and every second to work hard on her cultivation. As for the mental cultivation method incantation, it was indeed as Yi Xiaoya said. There was indeed a manual that required a virgin to practice. However, for some reason, it was thrown into a corner with a layer of dust on it. Qing Minjing searched for the whole morning. When she was about to give up, she found this secret manual. After thinking about it, it was probably because there were almost no female disciples in the Quishan sect. Even if there were, they would be the family members of male disciples. They were definitely not virgin, so this mental cultivation method was casually thrown into an inconspicuous corner. Qing Minjing was lucky. She didn't find it, so she was a little discouraged and wanted to find something to vent her anger on. Therefore she kicked the ground and shouted, "I'm so angry." Then a secret manual flew out. Although she didn't know if she could practice it, Qing Minjing planned to give it a try. Anyway, she only found this manual, so whether she could practice it or not was not a big deal. Therefore Qing Minjing didn't care. She returned to her room and planned to practice in seclusion for a while. Even if she couldn't succeed, she could avoid Yao Boang's harassment. When he came to find her, she could use the excuse of seclusion to send him away. Chapter 709. Sure enough, as Qing Minjing expected, Yao Baoang came that night. He couldn't do anything to Qing Minjing during the day because there were many disciples in the sect. Although Qing Minjing was his fiancée, everyone knew that they had a 3-year agreement. If he was impatient and tried to do something to her, it would seem that he was unreliable if someone saw Qing Minjing's resistance. It would affect the senior management's impression of him, and it would not be worth it. Therefore he chose to visit at night. "Father-in-law, Grandpa Qing, are you used to living here?" Yao Baoang saw Qing Zhongming and Qing Tianqiu, so he greeted them with a smile. "Don't worry about us, young Master Yao. We are fine here. Young Master Yao is busy with your cultivation, so you don't have to worry about us in the future." Qing Tianqiu snorted coldly and said lightly. The Qing family was under house arrest, and this situation was completely caused by the kid in front of him. Seeing him, how could Qing Tianqiu have a good expression? "Haha, no matter how busy I am, I can't forget the Qing family. This is also my home." Yao Baoang laughed, then turned his head and asked, "By the way, where is Minjing?" She went to choose a cultivation method. "I'm here to see if she succeeded and if there are any problems in her cultivation. I can give her some pointers." "There's no need for that. My daughter is cultivating in seclusion. She has chosen a cultivation method and is trying it. At this time, young Master Yao should know that she can't be disturbed." Qing Zhongming said, "I believe young Master Yao can understand." "She has chosen? She has already started to cultivate? Really?" Yao Baoang was a little shocked. She didn't have any foundation before, did she? Can she cultivate by herself? Won't she be possessed by the devil? No matter what, our Qing family is an ancient martial arts family in the secular world. Minjing has heard a lot since she was young, so she has some understanding of cultivation. She has also trained her body, so it's not surprising that she directly embarked on the path of devil cultivation, right? Qing Tianqiu said lightly, "I believe that if Minjing is an idiot, child Yao won't like her, right?" Of course. Yao Baoang was a little depressed. He couldn't refute Qing Tianqiu's words. He suddenly felt that his IQ was a little low. With just a few words, the other party had cut off the possibility of him meeting Qing Minjing. However, Xiao Yao was dead and he had no one to discuss it with. Although this matter was facilitated by Qing Zhongfan, Yao Baoang also knew that Qing Zhongfan had ulterior motives in this matter, which was nothing more than forcing Xiao Chen. Now that the goal had been achieved, Qing Zhongfan didn't care much about whether he could settle Qing Minjing in advance, so it was impossible to discuss countermeasures with him. "It's so late, child Yao, please go back." Qing Zhongming made a gesture of invitation. "When Minjing comes out, I will inform you." "Okay, then I will go back first." Yao Baoang had no choice. The more he was in the sect, the more restrained he was. He couldn't force it. It was a big crime to break into the courtyard of his fellow disciples. Even if Qing Minjing was his fiancée, he couldn't do it. After all, there was also the issue of the face of the Outer Martial Arts Guild. They had said that it would be 3 years. Couldn't he wait? At that time, the sect would definitely punish him severely. Although he wouldn't be sentenced to death, his ambition was in the top management of the sect, so he couldn't make mistakes in such a small matter. Thinking of this, Yao Baoang could only admit defeat. He turned around and quickly left the courtyard of the Qing family. Phew. Qing Zhongming breathed a sigh of relief and wiped the sweat on his forehead. He said helplessly, "Father, this is only the first day. I'm afraid there will be trouble in the future." "Yeah, there's no way." Qing Tianqiu said, "However, we will try our best to block it. This is the only thing we can do." Qing Minjing was in the back room. In fact, she didn't enter the state of cultivation. A new mental cultivation method secret book. If she wanted to cultivate it, she had to think about it. She heard Yao Boang's voice outside and listened carefully. Until he left, she was relieved. Cheng Minjing fell on the bed and suddenly touched the bracelet on her wrist. However, the first thing she thought of was not her grandmother but Xiao Qin. It was not that Cheng Minjing resented her grandmother and Cheng Tianyu for secretly giving birth to Cheng Zhongfan. After all, this was a matter of the older generation. Her grandfather was a very fickle person. After marrying her grandmother, he hooked up with another woman soon after, who was also the biological mother of her uncle Cheng Zhongqian. At that time he neglected her grandmother. In that case, it was not incomprehensible for Cheng Tianyu to take advantage of the situation. However, although Cheng Minjing understood it, she felt that she definitely couldn't do it. Even when Xiao Qin pursued Qin Jingxian in front of her before, she never thought of betraying Xiao Qin or anything. Now she wouldn't think about it. At that time this bracelet was lost and was found by Xiao Qin. At that time she thought that he wanted to take advantage of her. Now thinking about it, it was infinitely sweet. Cheng Minjing kind of missed the time when she was with Xiao Qin. Perhaps that was the happiest period of her life. She didn't know if this counted as her falling in love with Xiao Qin. In fact, in her bones she had already determined that she was Xiao Qin's fiancée. So whether she liked him or not, it was not too important to her. Now, in retrospect, Cheng Minjing felt that she really fell in love with Xiao Qin. She sighed faintly. Maybe, but what could she do? It could be seen that Xiao Qin was more of a responsibility to her. Otherwise, why did so many things happen with Qin Jingxian, Tang Tang, and Yi Xiaoye but nothing happened with her? Not to mention that there was no chance in a villa even if he used force he would succeed. Cheng Minjing thought that since Xiao Qin was so powerful, it should be easy and pleasant for him to push her down, right? But he didn't do that. Maybe he really didn't like her. Alas. Humph, this bastard, don't forget me in 3 years. What should I do? Forget it then, forget it, this miss doesn't care about it. Humph. Cheng Minjing immediately thought. So, in the contradiction, Miss Cheng fell asleep in a daze. When Xiao Xiao woke up again, it was already afternoon. She dressed up and went to Xiao Qin excitedly. Brother, do you think I'm beautiful today? Well, you're very beautiful. Xiao Qin was discussing the future direction of the Xiao family with Xiao Yuanshan and Xiao Hai. He was going to leave, so he had to arrange things at home. Am I sexy? Xiao Xiao turned around and asked again. Xiao Qin was speechless. Xiao Yuanshan and Xiao Hai were still at the side, and Xiao Xiao actually dared to ask this? Sure enough, Xiao Hai's expression changed slightly. He wanted to say something but he didn't. Xiao Yuanshan squinted his eyes and glanced at Xiao Xiao, but he didn't say anything. Xiao Xiao also realized that she asked a bit too much, especially in front of her father and grandfather. She immediately stuck out her tongue. I was just joking. Brother, when are we leaving? You decide. What time is your class reunion? Xiao Qin asked. Then it's about time, let's go. Xiao Xiao said, Brother, you should dress up too. Don't embarrass me. I'm a man, why do I need to dress up? Wait for me to change. Xiao Qin stood up helplessly and walked towards his villa. Xiao Qin left. Xiao Hai's gaze sharpened. He looked at Xiao Xiao, who was also leaving, and said, Xiao Xiao, come here. What is it, Dad? Xiao Xiao turned around and looked at Xiao Hai strangely. Is there something? Sit down, I have something to ask you. Xiao Hai's expression was very serious. Xiao Xiao didn't dare to joke around anymore. She quickly and obediently sat on the seat that Xiao Qin was sitting on. Dad. Xiao Xiao looked at her serious father and asked carefully. Although you and Xiao Qin are brother and sister, don't go overboard with some things. Don't let other families see you as a joke. Xiao Hai hinted. What do you mean? Xiao Xiao blinked her big watery eyes. She didn't seem to understand Xiao Hai's meaning. What joke? We didn't bully anyone. You and Xiao Qin have been sleeping together these few days? Xiao Hai didn't answer but changed the topic to ask. Yes, I'm afraid of the sound of firecrackers. Xiao Xiao nodded. You two are already so big. You should avoid it. Otherwise, how are you going to find in-laws in the future? Xiao Hai hinted. In-laws? Why would I find in-laws? I'm not looking for one. I'm already hurt enough with the Cheng family's matter. Dad, the Xiao family doesn't need to rely on anyone anymore. We don't need to look at anyone's face. Brother is enough. Are you still going to let me marry into other families? Although Xiao Xiao knew that her father didn't mean it that way, she still changed the topic. This. Xiao Hai's expression changed. He felt a little guilty. Hearing Xiao Xiao say this, he felt a little embarrassed. He felt that Xiao Xiao might be against finding a boyfriend. Then you have to find a boy that you like in the future, right? Yes, I've liked my brother since I was young. Xiao Xiao nodded seriously. Xiao Hai's expression changed. He wanted to say something but he was interrupted by Xiao Yuanshan. Xiao Yuanshan asked indifferently, Xiao Xiao, do you know something? Know what? What do I know? Xiao Xiao was stunned. She looked at Xiao Yuanshan. Grandpa, what are you talking about? You and Xiao Qin are brother and sister? Xiao Yuanshan's words were probably not understood by anyone. This question was simply nonsense. Yes. Xiao Xiao nodded and looked at her grandfather. It's fine. Xiao Yuanshan waved his hand and said, Go. Have fun at the gathering tonight. Xiao Qin will be leaving after Chinese New Year. You guys won't have much time together. Oh, okay. Grandpa, Dad, I'll go prepare. Xiao Xiao nodded and quickly ran out. Looking at Xiao Xiao's back, Xiao Hai frowned. Dad, just now you. Chapter 7:10. Nothing. Xiao Yuanshan shook his head and said, I feel that Xiao Xiao seems to know something. Yeah, I have this feeling too. Xiao Hai also had a weird expression. But I'm not sure. Actually, it's nothing. It's the same whether she knows or doesn't know. This matter is nothing at all. We have too much time to worry about it. With the current status of the Xiao family, who dares to say anything? Who can say anything? Xiao Yuanshan smiled faintly. Moreover, it's really nothing. That's true. I'm worrying for nothing. Xiao Hai nodded. Indeed, our Xiao family doesn't need to marry anyone else. We don't need to worry too much about Xiao Zhao's matter. Actually, it's better this way. Xiao Yuanshan smiled. At 4 o'clock in the evening, Xiao Qin drove the well-dressed Xiao Xiao to the location of the class reunion, Immortal Resort. Why is it this place again? Why are all the class reunions here? Could it be that this is a place for professional class reunions? However, Xiao Qin usually didn't pay attention to it. He didn't know that this Immortal Resort was indeed such a place. It specialized in hosting some companies' annual meetings, parties, as well as class reunions, corporate fraternities, etc. As long as one searched online for the best class reunions in Songning City, they would find this place. Therefore, the organizers of those class reunions also looked at other people's comments before choosing this place. However, Xiao Qin was naturally familiar with this place. He didn't need navigation and directly drove there. Brother, it's not right. Why are you so familiar with this place? I'm still using my phone to check here and you know where to go? Xiao Xiao stared at Xiao Qin with a weird look. Tell me, have you accompanied other people to class reunions? The reason why Xiao Xiao said other people was that Xiao Qin was basically not interested in class reunions. If she asked him to go alone, he definitely wouldn't go. I accompanied one, the one who was with me yesterday. Xiao Qin didn't hide it. It was also at that time that we met. Then you got together that night? Xiao Xiao frowned. Brother, why do you still want this kind of woman? She's definitely not a good girl. How can she sleep with someone on the first day of meeting? That's too embarrassing. That's not it. I just pretended to be her boyfriend. It's just a freak combination of factors that made it real, so I made her, ahem. Xiao Qin could only blame it on himself. In fact, it was mostly on himself. So it's your responsibility. No wonder. Xiao Xiao didn't say anything after listening. Then you really have to take responsibility. It's really a headache. How many sisters will I have in the future? You should call her sister-in-law, not sister. Xiao Qin glared at her. I'm not married yet. Of course I'm calling you sister. Xiao Xiao said as if it was a matter of course. All right. Xiao Qin reluctantly accepted this reason. By the way, you can play during the class reunion later. I'll just close my eyes in the room. That won't do. I've already told them that I'll bring my boyfriend. What's the matter if you don't show up? Others will think that you don't like me. Xiao Xiao immediately objected. What? You told others that I'm your boyfriend? Xiao Qin's eyes widened. Yeah, is there a problem? Said Xiao Xiao. Of course there is. When did I become your boyfriend? Xiao Qin was confused. Xiao Xiao, can you stop joking? You can pretend to be someone else's boyfriend, but you can't pretend to be mine. I'm already 16 years old. I still don't have a boyfriend. How shameful is that? Xiao Xiao snorted. So what if you're 16 years old? You're still a kid. Xiao Qin glared at her. Your main task now is to study hard. Tisk, aren't you ashamed to say this? When you were 16 you didn't pursue Xinjingxian? Xiao Xiao snorted with a look of contempt. I've already said it. If you want to embarrass me you can expose me in public. At most, I'll drop out of school. Forget it. I'm really scared of you. Xiaoqin was suddenly depressed. I can pretend that there's no problem, but the key is that Qi Zhigao knows me. Isn't he your classmate? I've already talked to him. I'll pretend that I don't know you. Don't act too familiar with him at that time. Xiao Xiao exhorted. Okay. Xiaoqin could only agree. What else do you need to pay attention to? Tell me all at once. Oh, the rest is to adapt to the situation. We can play together at that time. Xiao Xiao said, you just have to cooperate. Be intimate with me. Don't let others see it. Okay. Xiaoqin nodded. It was fine to be intimate. They were already close enough at home. Xiaoqin was already used to it. The car drove to the Immortal Resort. Because Xiaozhao Second High School was also an aristocratic school, there were many children from rich families. Therefore, there were already many cars parked in front of the apartment building where Xiao Xiao mentioned the gathering. Obviously, they were all here to attend the reunion. Because Xiaoqin transferred to Second High School not long ago, and Xiao Xiao was very cold to Xiaoqin, the two of them didn't have much interaction at all. Only Qi Zhigao had seen Xiaoqin before. He really didn't know the other students. As soon as she got out of the car, a girl walked over with a boy and waved at Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao, you're here? Let me see your mysterious boyfriend. Sun Nanxue, were you waiting for me? Xiao Xiao replied with a smile. Let me introduce you. This is my boyfriend Xiao Chang. Eh? He has the same surname as you. Sun Nanxue was a little surprised. She looked up and down at Xiaoqin who had parked the car. He's quite handsome and quite sturdy. How is it? Isn't he strong in that aspect? Otherwise, why would he be called Xiao Chang? I can't tell you about that. Xiao Xiao glared at Sun Nanxue and said, why don't you tell me how often you and Brother Qin do it? It's a secret. Sun Nanshue's face turned red. Xiaoqin was a little speechless. The topic of conversation between female friends was really fierce. He looked at the girl beside Sun Nanxue. She also had an awkward expression. When she saw Xiaoqin looking over, she nodded at him in understanding. My name is Xiao Chang. It's our first time meeting. I hope you can take care of me, Xiaoqin said politely. Xiao Xiao, where did you find him? When you have a child, his surname will also be Xiao. Your Xiao family will have a descendant. Your father will be very happy, right? Sun Nanxue laughed. Yes, that's for sure. I specifically found him this way, Xiao Xiao said proudly without the slightest bit of awkwardness. No wonder you didn't like Qi Zhigao back then. It turns out that his surname is Qi. Sun Nanxue also laughed. Let's go in. Who's in charge of the registration today? Xiao Xiao asked. Who else could it be? It's that little bitch Chao Yuling. She thinks that she's hooked up with Qi Zhigao. She even thinks that she's a member of the Chao family. She's been jumping around lately. She's involved in everything. It's not enough for her to show off. Sun Nanxue curled her lips. Obviously, her relationship with Chao Yuling wasn't very good. Chao Yuling? Xiaoqin was slightly stunned. Isn't that the person Xiao Xiao met on New Year's Eve? She's actually in the same class as Xiao Xiao? At that time, Xiao Xiao acted as if she didn't know her. It turned out that there was a conflict between them. By the way, Xiaoqin, be careful when you see Qi Zhigao later. He's Xiao Zhao's pursuer. I'm afraid that he'll cause trouble for you. Sun Nanxue reminded Xiaoqin. Well, it's nothing. Xiaoqin shook his head. Qi Zhigao probably wouldn't cause trouble. As for Chao Yuling, it was hard to say. However, Xiaoqin was now very famous. In Songning City, there weren't many forces that dared to go against him. In this way, the possibility of the Chao family going against him was very small. As they spoke, the four of them walked into the lobby of the resort's apartment building. Sure enough, they saw Chao Yuling dressed up gorgeously. She was sitting at the registration desk talking and laughing with a boy. However, that boy wasn't Qi Zhigao, which surprised Xiaoqin. Looking at Chao Yuling flirting with him, Xiaoqin couldn't help but frown. Why is this woman like this? She's taking advantage of Qi Zhigao's absence to get close to another boy. Even if there's nothing going on between them, it's not good, right? One of the boy's hands was already touching Chao Yuling's thigh. The other hand was placed on Chao Yuling's shoulder. It was very close to her chest. Isn't the relationship between Qi Zhigao and Chao Yuling very good? Xiaoqin asked Xiao Xiao secretly. I don't know. On the surface, it's still okay. I don't pay attention to them. Besides, it's the holidays. They don't go to school often. Who knows? Xiao Xiao shook her head, indicating that she didn't know. The four of them walked over to register. When Chao Yuling saw Xiao Xiao and Xiaoqin, she was slightly surprised, but she didn't say much. She registered them properly and assigned them a room. At this moment, Qi Zhigao walked into the lobby. When he looked up and saw Xiao Chen, he was delighted. He was about to greet him, but he suddenly remembered that Xiao Xiao had told him to act like he didn't know him, so he didn't greet him. However, when he looked again, he saw Qiao Yuling was so intimate with a boy. They were even hugging each other. His face suddenly turned ugly and he strode over. "Qiao Yuling, what are you doing?" asked Qi Zhigao. "I'm chatting with my boyfriend." Qiao Yuling didn't care at all. "Zhigao, are you jealous?" "I." Qi Zhigao took a deep breath. Although he already knew that this boy named Wu Youhe was Qiao Yuling's desk mate, and they were good friends, it was hard to guarantee that such an intimate action wouldn't make him think of something. However, he couldn't be angry, so he said lightly, "It's nothing. I just want to see if you're tired. Why don't we go out and do some shopping?" "Okay." Qiao Yuling nodded, then she said to Wu Youhe, who was beside her, "Little Hehe, I'll leave it to you. Zhigao and I will go out. Honey, I'll reward you tonight." Chapter 7:11. Go ahead. Wu Youhe smiled and sat in Qiao Yuling's previous seat. However, this scene made Xiao Chen feel a little awkward. Intuition told Xiao Chen that the relationship between Qiao Yuling and Wu Youhe was definitely not as simple as it seemed on the surface. Cultivators had always been very sensitive, but since he did not catch anything, Xiao Chen could not say much, let alone provoke the relationship between Qi Zhigao and Qiao Yuling. Qi Zhigao and Qiao Yuling walked out, and Qi Zhigao could not help but remind her, "Qiao Yuling, you should be more careful next time. You and Wu Youhe are so close. What will I think?" So what if he's my best friend? We've been desk mates since elementary school. We've always been. There's nothing we can't talk about." Qiao Yuliang smiled and said, "Right, I'm going to the bathroom." "Okay." Qi Zhigao nodded. Qiao Yuling entered the washroom and busied herself for a long time. Then she let out a long sigh of relief and cursed, "This Wu Youhe, he made me feel awkward. Damn it, I must get even with him tonight." After cursing, she took out her phone and dialed a number saying, "Brother, guess who I saw? It's Xiao Chen. He actually accompanied Xiao Xiao to the class reunion and said that he's her boyfriend. Do you think there's something going on between them? Can we use this to attack Xiao Chen?" "What does that have to do with you?" Qiao Yuliang received the call and heard Qiao Yuling's bullshit. He immediately became angry. "Mind your own business. You're already married to the Qi family. Stop it. Restrain your debauchery. Don't let others use it against you. If you break off the engagement, the Qiao family will lose face. As for Xiao Chen, he can do whatever he wants. Didn't you see that the Quishan faction has left? What kind of personality do I have? It's all because of you." Qiao Yuling snorted coldly. She was a little unhappy. She had long been treated as a commodity by Qiao Yuliang and given to Cheng Mingqiang to play with. Now he still had the cheek to criticize her? "Don't talk nonsense. Be careful outside." Qiao Yuliang warned, "Your main purpose now is to control Qi Zhigao. It's best to find a way to let the Qiao family swallow the Qi family after he becomes the young master of the Qi family. In this way our Qiao family can develop. The Cheng family is no longer reliable. Cheng Mingqiang ran away by himself. Now we have to find our own way out." "Oh." Qiao Yuling was a little dissatisfied in her heart, but she still responded. She agreed and turned to leave the bathroom. Seeing Qi Zhigao, she happily took his arm. "Zhigao, let's go." "Well, okay." Seeing Qiao Yuling, who was very enthusiastic to him, Qi Zhigao felt a little better. After all, compared with Xiao Zhao's indifference, Qiao Yuling could be said to be very obedient and especially docile. Therefore, when Qiao Yuling occasionally played with some boys, Qi Zhigao would turn a blind eye. After registering, Xiao Chen and Xiao Xiao went upstairs to find a room to settle down. Son Nanxue and Brother Chen followed behind. Brother Chen's name was Chen Shufeng. He was Son Nanshue's boyfriend. Although their families were not as prominent as the Xiao family, they were also considered as a business family in Songning City. Of course, there were not many people here who knew about Xiao Zhao's family. Son Nanxue didn't know either. She only thought that Xiao Zhao's family was very rich. She didn't know that it was the Xiao family in Songning City. Of course, the Xiao family had been very low-key before. Only Xiao Chen was a high-profile member. "Hey, Xiao Xiao, why are you in such a hurry to go back to your room? Did you have an interest on the way here and want to settle it?" Son Nanxue looked at Xiao Xiao mischievously. "I think you two are the ones who are in a hurry, right? Following behind us sneakily." Xiao Xiao curled her lips and said, "I have been living with my brother every day for the past few days." "Your brother?" Son Nanxue was stunned. "It's Xiao Chong. His surname is also Xiao and he is older than me. I call him brother. Xiao Xiao realized that she had let the cat out of the bag, so she quickly covered up the lie. I say Xiao Xiao, your hobby is quite unique. You actually call him brother. Are you imagining that he is your brother but you aren't together? Hee hee. Sun Nanxue looked at Xiao Xiao strangely. Humph, so what if I am? Xiao Xiao said indifferently, anyway we aren't biological siblings. Let's just add some spice. You don't even understand this. Alright, I'm afraid of you. Sun Nanxue was a little helpless. We will go in and settle down. I will look for you later. Let's go eat dinner together. I just informed you. Okay, no problem. I'm just afraid that you will take too long. Xiao Xiao teased. Their rooms were next to each other. After they finished talking, they entered the room. Xiaoqun was a little dumbfounded. Why are girls so unscrupulous when talking to each other nowadays? After entering the room, he couldn't help but smile bitterly. Xiao Xiao, do you usually talk to that Sun Nanxue like this? Yeah, you don't understand the world of girls. It's so tough that you can't imagine it. Xiao Xiao disagreed. What do you think? Maybe Xin Jingxian and Qing Minjing usually talk about you together. It's just that you don't know. All right. Xiaoqun was speechless. He could only say, let's settle down and go down. Aren't we going to do something? It's already done over there. Xiao Xiao pointed to the next room. Xiaoqun listened carefully. Indeed, the soundproofing effect of this room was really not good. This time, the party was booked in an old apartment building. It should be quite old. Hearing this sound, Xiaoqun suddenly felt a little embarrassed. Let's ignore them. Let's watch TV for a while. Xiaoqun said and was about to turn on the TV. No way. They must also be paying attention to us. If we don't do something, Sun Nanxue will laugh at us later. Xiao Xiao said. Then what should we do? Xiaoqun was speechless. What do you think? Xiao Xiao blinked her eyes. Stop joking. Xiaoqun glared at her and said angrily, you won't really let me do it, right? Hee hee, you go and push the bed, then I'll call. Xiao Xiao smiled mischievously. Xiaoqun suddenly breathed a sigh of relief and said in a depressed tone, your class reunion is really troublesome. Is it worth it? I have already told Sun Nanxue. If I don't do anything, she will definitely think that it's either you or me who has a problem. Xiao Xiao said in a serious manner, I don't want her to always joke about this kind of thing in the future, so this is the only way. Okay. Xiaoqun walked to the bed and began to push the bed. Suddenly there was a loud crunch sound in the room, and Xiao Xiao moaned in cooperation. This moan shocked Xiaoqun. Why is this sound so real? It's just a little exaggerated. Seeing that Xiaoqun stopped, Xiao Xiao suddenly shouted, don't stop. Then she glared at Xiaoqun and pointed to the bed. Xiaoqun could only continue to shake the wooden bed, but Xiao Zhao's voice made Xiaoqun's heart move. He couldn't help but feel a little short of breath. Xiaoqun quickly blocked these unrealistic thoughts from his mind. He tried not to listen to Xiao Zhao's moans and shook the bed desperately. Finally, the two on the opposite side stopped. Xiaoqun glanced at Xiao Xiao and said, can we stop too? This really isn't something a human should do. No, let's do it for a while. You have to win against them and show that you can last longer than Brother Qin. Xiao Xiao lowered her voice and shouted again. Xiaoqun was at his wit's end, so he could only cooperate and continue shaking the bed. Xiaoqun shook the bed until it was almost falling apart. Only then did he say, is this finally enough? Okay, I'll let you go. Xiao Xiao was also tired of shouting. She quickly found a bottle of mineral water and drank it. Then she complained, gosh, it turns out that this kind of thing is so tiring. I haven't done it yet and I'm tired just shouting for a while. You're still talking. I'm shaking to death. Xiaoqun shook his arm and said, Xiao Xiao, you really put me in a difficult position. Who asked you to be my brother? I can only ask you to cooperate. If I find a random person to pretend to be my boyfriend when I call him, he can't help but push me down. Where can I go to reason with him? Xiao Xiao waved her hand. It's just like what you did. Fake becomes real. Well, then you should look for me. When Xiaoqun heard that Xiao Xiao intended to look for someone randomly, he was naturally worried. He would rather be tired himself. Isn't it just shaking the bed? It's not a big deal. After a while, Xiao Zhao's cell phone rang. It was a Weixin message from Sun Nanxue. I say Xiao Xiao, you two are too fierce. It's earth-shattering. I can only hear the clanging sound. How strong is the impact? You didn't die from the impact, right? Don't talk about me. Aren't you two the same? We didn't want to, but we heard that you were over there, so... Xiao Xiao replied, not to be outdone. Okay. Are you two done? Let's go down to eat. Sun Nanxue said. Okay, then let's go down. Xiao Xiao said and then told Xiao Qin, later, you help me walk as if I'm exhausted because of you. Xiao Qin glared at her but he still helped Xiao Xiao out of the room. Then he saw Sun Nanxue and Brother Qin walking out of the room. This name of yours is indeed very strong, Sun Nanxue said with admiration. But only Xiao Xiao can bear it. If it were me, I would have died a long time ago. Brother Qin is still gentle. Sun Nanshue's words made Brother Qin proud. Although he felt that he wasn't as fierce as Xiao Qin, his woman's praise was still very useful. Xiao Qin glanced at Sun Nanxue. This woman wasn't simple. She didn't forget to protect her boyfriend's face at all times. It seemed that she cared a lot about this boyfriend arranged by her family. However, Xiao Qin was also very relieved that this kind of person was friends with Xiao Xiao. At least she was a smart person and wouldn't do stupid things. Oh, I'm so tired. Brother, carry me on your back. Xiao Xiao said to Xiao Qin coquettishly. You're already an adult, why are you still carrying me? Xiao Qin said. I can't walk because of you. What should I do? My legs tremble when I walk, Xiao Xiao said and hung on Xiao Qin's body. Chapter 7:12. I really don't know what to do with you. Xiao Qin couldn't explain that he didn't do it at all. He could only carry Xiao Xiao on his back and walk downstairs. Anyway, he had carried her on his back more than once. From childhood to adulthood, he often carried Xiao Xiao on his back. But now that Xiao Xiao had grown up, the softness of her chest pressed against Xiao Qin's back, which made him feel a little uncomfortable. When they went downstairs, most of the students in the class had already arrived. Seeing Xiao Qin carrying Xiao Xiao downstairs, many people were a little surprised. They didn't expect that Xiao Xiao, who had always been cold and elegant in the class, would be so intimate with a boy. In fact, Xiao Xiao was also a goddess in the class. Qi Zhigao wasn't the only pursuer. It was just that Qi Zhigao was richer and had a better family background. But now, Qi Zhigao already had Qiao Yuling, so he naturally wouldn't pursue Xiao Xiao. These boys thought that they had a chance, but Xiao Xiao was already taken by someone else. They couldn't help but feel a little disappointed. Among them, there was also someone who wasn't convinced. It was the sports commissary of Xiao Zhao's class. He also had a good family background. Compared to Qi Zhigao, he was also the young master of an aristocratic family. Compared to Qi Zhigao, he was better because he was the heir of his family. The reason why he didn't launch an attack on Xiao Xiao before was that his position as the heir of his family hadn't been confirmed. His family was a Jinwu aristocratic family, which was one level higher than ordinary aristocratic families. His family wouldn't allow him to marry a woman from an ordinary family. But now it was different. He had become the heir of the young master, so he had more autonomy. He didn't need a marriage to take advantage of the position. Even if he had to marry for benefits in the future, Xiao Xiao could also be the second wife. And this time he was one of the supporters of this class reunion. He also funded part of the expenses. His purpose was to get closer to Xiao Xiao, but he didn't expect that it would be like this. He walked towards Xiao Xiao with a gloomy face. He looked at Xiao Qin and asked coldly, Xiao Xiao, who is this person? Galbisi, what does this have to do with you? Xiao Xiao was a little unhappy. Are you here to check my household registration? Of course not. Galbisi's face changed. He frowned and said, Xiao Xiao, I'm just afraid that you will be cheated. At your age it's easy to be cheated. This person seems to be from the underworld, right? There are a lot of liars out there. He is my brother. Xiao Xiao said coldly. What? Galbisi was dumbfounded. Your brother? Brother, ignore him. Let's go. Xiao Xiao patted Xiao Qin's shoulder and signaled him to continue carrying her forward. Xiao Qin carried Xiao Xiao to the dining room. Galbisi's expression was a bit strange. This person is Xiao Zhao's brother? Is this for real? Then wouldn't he have offended his brother-in-law? However, he still felt that something was wrong. He turned around to look at Sun Nanxue and Brother Qin and said, Brother Qin, we're from the same courtyard. Tell me what's going on. When Qingu heard this, he looked at Sun Nanxue awkwardly. Although Galbisi lived in the same neighborhood as him, and his villa wasn't far away, it wasn't appropriate for him to say such things. Galbisi, that's Xiao Zhao's boyfriend. Don't think too much about it. She calls him Big Brother, as a form of intimacy. It's a way to make things more interesting. Now that they're sleeping together, you won't stand a chance. Sun Nanxue reminded after thinking for a while. What? When Galbisi heard this, his face suddenly became a bit distorted. Sleeping together? Is this for real? Sun Nanxue, did you see it or did they say it themselves? They live next door. We heard the earth-shattering sound just now. Brother Chin patted Gao Bisi's shoulder sympathetically and then sighed. You have no chance. Forget it. Don't think so much. Have fun. I'm so angry. How can Xiao Xiao do this? Gao Bisi clenched his fist. He was so angry that his body was trembling. He stared at the backs of Xiao Chen and Xiao Xiao fiercely. The woman he wanted was gone before he even laid his hands on her? He couldn't accept it. He was the heir of Jinwu's Gao family. What he wanted must be his. When he was angry, he suddenly felt someone pat him from behind. Gao Bisi was shocked. He turned around and found that it was Chao Yuling. He naturally knew who Chao Yuling was. She was a woman from the Chao family of Songning. When the Chao family wanted to do business in the Gao family's territory, the two of them had met and spent the night together. Although Chao Yuling's appearance was ordinary, her skills were top-notch. Therefore Gao Bisi remembered it clearly. He didn't expect that she would be his classmate after he transferred to Songning City. He just didn't have the chance to kiss her again. When he saw Chao Yuling, Gao Bisi felt hot. Yuling, what's the matter? You didn't accompany Qi Gao? Brother Gao, do you want to pursue Xiao Xiao? Chao Yuling asked. That's right. It's not a secret. Why do you ask? Gao Bisi was a little confused. I can help you secretly. Chao Yuling was actually very jealous of Xiao Xiao. Although Chao Yuliang didn't allow her to do anything to Xiao Xiao, she could incite others to do it. There was no other reason. She just didn't like Xiao Xiao. What do you mean? Gao Bisi looked at Chao Yuling with great interest. Xiao Xiao's boyfriend is a playboy. He cares a lot about his reputation. You find a way to make a bet with him. The bet is Xiao Xiao. But remember, don't fight with him. Chao Yuling reminded. She had seen Xiao Chen's information because of her relationship with Chao Yuliang. Although she knew that Xiao Chen's current strength was not bad in her opinion, Xiao Chen's previous playboy was also true. He was a person who cared a lot about his reputation, but he didn't achieve anything. As long as she started in this aspect, she would definitely be able to deal with him. What? Isn't it good to fight? Gao Bisi was a little puzzled. He said, You know, I'm a disciple of the Gao family of Zhenwu. I'm a martial artist. Isn't it easy to deal with this guy? You don't believe me? There's a reason why I told you not to use force. You can play some intelligent games with him. His IQ is not good, but he still has brute force. Chao Yuling reminded. Through this period of observation, Chao Yuling felt that Xiao Chen did not have any intelligence at all. He completely relied on his absolute strength to do things. It was a blatant suppression. Therefore, she was determined not to compete with him in terms of strength. Okay. Gao Bisi thought about it and nodded. Then tell me, what should I compete with him in? For example, playing cards, which is a business strategy, or bowling, which is a technical strategy. There's no way to use force. Chao Yuling suggested. I really don't understand. I'm a martial artist and have an absolute advantage. Why do I have to compete with these? Gao Bisi was a little inexplicable. He must know that you're a martial artist. If you compete with these, do you think he can accept it? Even if he's a playboy, he's not a fool. Chao Yuling said helplessly. You're right. Gao Bisi nodded after listening. Xiao Xiao must have told Xiao Chang about his identity. You're indeed the brains of the Chao family. Hehe, I'm just SOSO. Chao Yuling smiled sweetly. Then I'll leave first. Wait, Yuling. Gao Bisi looked at Chao Yuling's flirtatious expression as she turned around. Is there anything else? Chao Yuling asked. Do you have time tonight? The desire in Gao Bisi's eyes exposed his thoughts. However, Chao Yuling saw it and didn't mind. She just said lightly, I'll check the time. Gao Bisi nodded happily. Then I'll go and deal with Xiao Chang first. Looking at Gao Bisi's back as he left, Chao Yuling sneered. She hated Xiao Xiao, and at the same time she hated Xiao Chen. Back then, in order to destroy Xiao Chen's impression in front of Cheng Menjing, Chao Yuliang had asked Chao Yuling to seduce Xiao Chen. However, Xiao Chen didn't take the bait. This was a great humiliation for Chao Yuling. There was no man that Chao Yuling, couldn't seduce. What about Qi Gao? Didn't he still fall under her skirt in the end? Therefore she held a grudge against Xiao Chen and was very angry. Inside the cafeteria, a few big tables were already filled. There were more than 40 people in Xiao Zhao's class, scattered across 5 or 6 tables. Each table had about 7 or 8 people. Xiao Xiao and Sun Nanxue arrived relatively late, so they sat at the last table with no one. Not long after they sat down, Gao Bisi came over. He glanced at Xiao Chen and directly sat beside him. He said, A straightforward person doesn't beat around the bush. You're not Xiao Zhao's brother. You're her boyfriend, right? What's the matter? Xiao Chen glanced at the person. At this time he took a closer look. This person was actually a martial artist. This made Xiao Chen a little surprised, but he was still very indifferent. You're not worthy of Xiao Xiao, Gao Bisi said directly. He listened to Qiao Yuling's suggestion and planned to anger Xiao Chen first, then make a bet with Xiao Chen. Oh, then you mean that you're worthy of her? Xiao Chen asked disapprovingly. He wasn't Xiao Zhao's boyfriend, so he wasn't angry. Moreover, his sister had a suitor, so there was nothing to be angry about. Yes. Gao Bisi nodded proudly and said, it seems that you still have a little bit of self-awareness. You know that only I, Gao Bisi, am worthy of her. Your ears aren't good, right? Xiao Chen was a little speechless. I'm asking a rhetorical question, or is your IQ low? Don't say that it's useless. Do you dare to compete with me? Gao Bisi slammed the table and asked coldly. Compete? Compete for what? Xiao Chen asked. Brother, don't bother with him. He's sick. Xiao Xiao was a little impatient. Gao Bisi, are you crazy? Everyone is eating here. Why are you slamming the table? Xiao Chen, if you're a man, let's have a drinking competition. Whoever drinks more will be worthy of Xiao Xiao. How about it? Gao Bisi shouted. Chapter 7:13. Oh, I don't have money. Who's going to pay if I drink too much? Xiao Chen asked. I'll pay. Gao Bisi said disdainfully, you don't have money, yet you want to be with Xiao Xiao. Aren't you ashamed? You can drink by yourself. I'm not interested in competing with you. Xiao Chen waved his hand, I'm going to eat. As he spoke, Xiao Chen picked up a drumstick on the table and started eating. He didn't put Gao Bisi in his eyes at all. Xiao Chang, are you afraid? When Gao Bisi saw that Xiao Chen was ignoring him, anger flashed in his eyes. It was as if he was about to explode. He was the heir of a dignified martial arts aristocratic family and a high-level warrior. It was easy for him to deal with a mortal in the secular world. However, Qiao Yuling said that he couldn't use force and could only attack from other aspects. He could only endure it for now. It's not that I don't dare, but I don't have the habit of using women as stakes. Xiao Chen said, whether she's worthy or not isn't determined by how much she drinks. According to what you said, will Xiao Xiao marry a drunkard in the future? This. Gao Bisi was a little speechless, but he still said, what I mean is that men should be bold. That's fine. Let's compete. Let's not talk about whether we're worthy or not. Let's see who's more capable. Oh, that's more like it. Xiao Chen nodded and said, okay, let's compete. Brother. Xiao Xiao was shocked and immediately pulled Xiao Chen. She didn't expect Xiao Chen to really agree. Isn't there something wrong with him? Why should he compete with Gao Bisi in drinking? Don't worry about me. This is a time to show off. Since there's no stakes, we must compete. Xiao Chen shook off Xiao Zhao's arm and pointed at Gao Bisi. Tell me, how do we compete? Gao Bisi was overjoyed when he saw that Xiao Chen was angered by him. He was even happier when he saw that Xiao Chen had shaken off Xiao Xiao. Xiao Chen was indeed easily provoked. He had provoked him with just a few words. At that time, when Xiao Chen drank too much, he would make a fool of himself. It's very simple, whoever drinks the most. Gao Bisi said. Okay. How much can you drink? Xiao Chen asked. 50 bottles of this beer is not a problem. Gao Bisi threatened. Really? Xiao Chen was a little surprised. This was a large bottle of beer, not the small bottle that he and Song Huawu drank. Moreover, this wine had some alcohol content. If he drank 50 bottles, wouldn't he die? Of course. Gao Bisi was very refreshed when he saw Xiao Chen's surprise and said proudly. Okay, then you drink first and then I'll drink. Xiao Chen nodded and said. Gao Bisi was stunned. Aren't we drinking together? Don't drink together. It's going to be a mess. If I can't help but steal 2 bottles from you and say that I drank it, it won't be good, right? Xiao Chen shrugged. What? Are you bragging to me just now? You can't drink so much. Whether I can drink it or not, you'll know when you see it. Gao Bisi suddenly said angrily. He waved to the waiter not far away and said, Waiter, give me 50 bottles of beer. Yes, sir. The waiter responded and went to fetch the beer. The other students looked at this side curiously, not knowing what was going on. Only Qiao Yuling's eyes flashed with a smile. It seems that he wants to make a fool of Xiao Chen. She didn't know why, but there was a different kind of pleasure in Qiao Yuling's heart when she saw Xiao Chen and Xiao Xiao being defeated. After a while the beer was served. Gao Bisi directly asked the waiter to open it. He picked it up and drank it. Although 50 bottles was a bit much, it wasn't like he hadn't drunk it before. He was confident that he could finish all of them. Xiaoqun was gorging himself at the side, while Gao Bisi was pouring bottle after bottle into his mouth. Every time he finished a bottle, he would look at Xiaoqun proudly. His expression was as if he was saying, "Little guy, are you scared silly? You're really heroic." Xiaoqun finished a chicken drumstick. He slapped Gao Bisi's shoulder with his oily hands, leaving a big oil print. However, Gao Bisi drank too much and didn't notice it at all. He thought that Xiaoqun was admiring him. "Ah, of course. It's up to you in a while." Gao Bisi gulped down another bottle of beer. Finally, after more than 40 bottles of beer, Gao Bisi was a little confused. He said to Xiaoqun with his tongue hanging out, "Xiaochang, look, can you do it? You haven't finished drinking yet." Xiaoqun said. At this moment, many students who had finished eating gathered around. When they heard that Gao Bisi was competing with Xiao Zhao's boyfriend in drinking, they all came to watch the show. Since they had nothing to do, this could be considered a highlight of the class reunion. There's only 4 bottles? Oh no, 5 bottles left. Let's see if I can finish it." Gao Bisi couldn't tell the difference between 4 and 5. He trembled as he looked at the beer bottle on the table and picked up another bottle. Finally, Gao Bisi drank all 50 bottles of beer. Even though he was a martial artist, his stomach was as big as a toad's. However, his eyes were filled with pride. "How about it, Xiaochang? It's your turn. I've drunk all 50 bottles. If you can't drink all 50 bottles, then you lose." "Oh, okay." Xiaoqun drew a napkin and wiped his mouth. Then he looked at the beer bottle in front of him and said, "Sai, I suddenly remembered that I'm allergic to alcohol. I can't drink. I admit defeat." "Ah?" When Gao Bisi heard Xiaoqun's words, his originally red face suddenly turned green. "What did you say? You can't drink? Then you let me drink?" "Yeah, didn't you prove that you can drink 50 bottles? You prove that you are very bold." "I can't, so I lost. Is there anything wrong with that?" Xiaoqun said seriously, "Ask everyone if this is the case." "Ha ha ha. Hee hee." Immediately, Xiaoqun's words attracted a burst of laughter from the surrounding students. Of course, they weren't laughing at Xiaoqun for losing because he couldn't drink. Instead, they were laughing at Gao Bisi for being a fool. He drank 50 bottles first and almost became a dead dog. In the end, Gao Bisi directly admitted defeat without drinking a single bottle. Xiao Xiao couldn't help but laugh. She was worried that Xiaoqun wouldn't be able to hold his liquor. However, she didn't expect Xiaoqun to be so evil. He had tricked Gao Bisi to death. "Damn, you tricked me." Gao Bisi was immediately enraged. His face became a little distorted. He shouted with a ferocious expression, "Xiaochang, if you have the guts, drink 50 bottles too. I've already admitted defeat. Why would I still drink? Are you crazy?" Xiaoqun shrugged and said, "You've already won. I also admit that you're powerful. What else do you want?" "This." Gao Bisi was a little confused after hearing what Xiaoqun said. "Yeah, I've already admitted defeat. What else do you want? Isn't my ultimate goal to make Xiaoqun admit defeat? However, why am I not happy at all even though I've won?" A wave of alcohol rushed to his brain and Gao Bisi almost fainted. He was too angry. Chao Yuling, who was at the side, was also unbearably angry. "I told you to use your IQ, use your IQ. Why are you so stupid? What IQ does drinking in a competition count for? Why are these martial arts practitioners so stupid?" Gao Bisi turned his head and saw the sarcasm on Chao Yuling's face from the corner of his eyes. He was immediately annoyed. "Chao Yuling, accompany me later. I need to vent." As soon as Gao Bisi said this, the students present were dumbfounded. What's going on? Chao Yuling was Qi Zhigao's girlfriend. Although Gao Bisi didn't explicitly say what he wanted Chao Yuling to accompany him for, the sentence vent had already exposed a lot of information. Therefore, everyone looked at Chao Yuling strangely. Qi Zhigao, who was at the side, also had a gloomy expression. He stared at Chao Yuling in disbelief. "Gao Bisi, what nonsense are you talking about? You must have drunk too much." Chao Yuling was furious. How could Gao Bisi say these words in public? Did he drink too much? But thinking about it, he really drank too much. What's wrong? Do you want to have a chastity when you're a whore? Gao Bisi didn't notice anything wrong at all. He continued, "It's not like we haven't played before. Why are you pretending? Zhigao, this person drank too much. Ignore him. Let's go." Chao Yuling was so angry that she turned around and pulled Qi Zhigao out. Her heart was full of resentment. She finally felt like she had shot herself in the foot. If I knew this would happen, I wouldn't have urged Gao Bisi. Now, Qi Gao was obviously suspicious. Xiao Chen's mouth flashed a sneer. It seems that this Gao Bisi and Xiao Yuling are very familiar. However, this had nothing to do with Xiao Chen. He stood up and said to Xiao Xiao, "Xiao Xiao, let's go back to the room and rest for a while." Xiao Xiao nodded. She was also very happy. This annoying Gao Bisi finally suffered a setback. Even Xiao Yuling lost face. Everyone pay attention. There is a group activity in the evening. Now is the free time after dinner. Everyone can go back to their rooms and rest first. You can also play around nearby. When the time comes, I will send a message to the class's Weixing group to inform everyone about the next step of the activity. The person who spoke was Xiao Zhao's class monitor. He was a quiet-looking boy. The students responded one after another. There was nothing to see, so they dispersed. Xiao Qin, Xiao Xiao, Sun Nanxue and Brother Qin went upstairs together. While walking, Sun Nanxue said, "Xiao Chang, you're really bad. You tricked Gao Bisi to death and at the same time indirectly tricked Xiao Yuling." "AI? Right, Sun Nanxue? Do you think there's something going on between Xiao Yuling and Gao Bisi?" Xiao Xiao lowered her voice and asked mysteriously. "I think there's something going on. Actually, I've long heard that there's something going on between Xiao Yuling and Wu Yoha. When they were in physical education class, they were caught being intimate in the bathroom. It's just that Qi Zhigao didn't know about it." Sun Nanxue said mysteriously, "But it's hard to say. Who knows if it's true or not without seeing it." Chapter 7:14. Yeah, I don't care about them. I thought my brother was going to drink with him. It scared me. Xiao Xiao patted her chest. "I say, Xiao Xiao, I realize that you are really a brother complex. Not only did you find a boyfriend with the same surname as you, but you also call him brother. It's so intimate." Hee hee. Sun Nanxue suddenly said, "Brother Qin, why don't I call you brother in the future?" "But we don't have the same surname." Brother Qin was a little embarrassed. "Are we cousins?" "That's fine." Sun Nanxue nodded and said, "Then let's try it later." "Up to you." Xiao Xiao shrugged and returned to the room with Xiao Chen. "Brother, why don't we do it again?" Xiao Xiao asked. "Do what again?" Xiao Chen was slightly surprised. "Just now." Xiao Xiao was a little embarrassed when she said this. She wasn't completely open in front of Xiao Chen, especially when she called him that just now. She didn't know if Xiao Chen would think too much. "Again?" Sure enough, after Xiao Chen rejected, he suddenly asked, "Xiao Xiao, have you had this kind of experience before?" "What experience?" Xiao Xiao was stunned and immediately understood, "How can I have this kind of experience?" "Then why did you call him so realistically?" Xiao Chen looked at Xiao Xiao from head to toe. "Aya, who hasn't seen Ivy's movies a few times these days?" Xiao Xiao blushed and stomped her feet. "Don't tell me you haven't seen it." "Forget it." Xiao Chen was embarrassed. He didn't expect a girl to watch it. "Then are we still coming?" Xiao Xiao asked. "No, look at how the neighbor didn't come. If we come again, they will think that we are full of energy and have nowhere to vent it." Xiao Chen said. "You think too much." Xiao Xiao saw that Xiao Chen didn't cooperate and was a little unhappy. "Why am I overthinking? If it weren't for you overthinking, we wouldn't have to do such a laborious and unrewarding thing." Xiao Chen was a little speechless. "What? From what you're saying, it seems like you still want to work hard to please me." Xiao Xiao blinked her eyes and looked at Xiao Chen. "Are you serious? Stop joking." Xiao Chen pulled a long face and said, "Xiao Xiao, if you continue to be so frivolous, don't ask me to accompany you to these activities next time." Wasn't it just a joke? As if I could really do anything." Xiao Xiao rolled her eyes at Xiao Chen. "If I'm not serious, I would have gotten together with you when we were young. I wouldn't have waited until now. Really, you don't trust your sister at all." "I'm just saying it casually." Xiao Chen didn't expect Xiao Zhao's reaction to be so big. After resting in the room for a while, Sun Nanxue sent a message asking if Xiao Xiao was free. The four of them went out for a walk. Xiao Chen didn't mind, but it was rare for Xiao Xiao to come out to play. Naturally, she didn't want to spend the time in the room, so she happily agreed. When the four of them went downstairs, they happened to see Qi Zhigao quarreling with Xiao Yuling. In the distance, the four of them stopped their footsteps. "Xiao Yuling, tell me clearly today. What the hell is going on?" Qi Zhigao drank a little today and he was a little angry. "Say what? Didn't I say it already? I have nothing to do with him. My family introduced him to me before. We met on a blind date. What's the big deal?" Chao Yuling frowned and said, "Do you have to yell like this? Then why did he say that today?" Qi Zhigao obviously didn't believe it. "You men like to talk big when you drink too much. What's the big deal?" Chao Yuling spread her hands and said, "If you drink too much, you might also brag a little. Say that you have slept with Xiao Xiao. Do I still have to believe it?" Chao Yuling's words were very vicious. Qi Zhigao was a little annoyed after listening to it. "Don't drag other people into the things between us. You are not allowed to talk about Xiao Xiao." I knew it. You still like Xiao Xiao in your heart when you are with me. Only you are allowed to like other people. There's nothing going on here. Do you believe a few jokes from other people?" Chao Yuling snorted coldly. "Forget it." Qi Zhigao sighed and said, "Let's go, Chao Yuling. I don't care what you did in the past. I hope you can be more self-respecting in the future. After all, you represent the face of my Qi family. You and Wu Yoha shouldn't make too much trouble." Okay, I know. Narrow-minded. Chao Yuling stuck to Qi Zhigao's body. The two of them went downstairs affectionately. Xiaoqin frowned. He also felt that there was something wrong with Chao Yuling, but it was not good to tell Qi Zhigao. He and Qi Zhigao could not be considered close friends. At most they were on good terms. This was especially so after he gave up on pursuing Xiao Xiao, so he rarely interacted with Xiaoqin. The four of them came to the chess and card room on the first floor. Many students were playing here. Some were playing cards, some were playing mahjong, and some were playing billiards. What surprised Xiaoqin was that he saw Gao Bisi here. This guy had drunk so much just now, but at the moment he was talking and laughing like a normal person. He stood next to the billiards table with a cigarette in his mouth and was playing billiards with others. This guy is so good at drinking? He sobered up after a while? Xiaoqin was a little surprised. He is a warrior from a foreign family. "Brother, don't fight with him," Xiao Xiao reminded him. Previously, Gao Bisi was at the side, so Xiao Xiao couldn't remind him. Later, when Gao Bisi got drunk, Xiao Xiao thought that he had gone back to sleep. She didn't expect him to appear again, so she quickly reminded him. "Oh." Xiaoqin responded faintly. Once upon a time, the family was a high and mighty existence in Xiaoqin's eyes. Even the Cheng family was unreachable. However, now Xiaoqin didn't care about them at all. Xiaoqin had already offended the Quishan sect. Why would he be afraid of a family like the family? "Xiaochang, you're good." Gao Bisi also saw Xiaoqin and made a shooting gesture. He said with a gloomy face, "Come and play billiards. Do you dare?" "You still want to play?" Xiaoqin smiled faintly. "That's right. Do you dare to bet something this time?" Gao Bisi waved his hand, and the guy who played with him immediately put the cue aside. He helped Gao Bisi take out the billiards balls that had fallen into the bag and rearrange them. "You won last time. Why do you want to win again?" Xiaoqin shrugged. "Then you play first." "No, I have to bet something this time." Gao Bisi didn't fall for it. He pointed the cue at Xiaoqin. "If you are a man, you will agree. This is a battle between men. If I win, you will leave Xiao Xiao. If you win, I will leave Xiao Xiao. Do you have to be so funny? If you win, you will leave Xiao Xiao? Are you together with Xiao Xiao?" Xiaoqin looked at Gao Bisi with disdain. "What do you say then?" Gao Bisi wasn't annoyed. As long as Xiaoqin agreed, the outcome was set. He used to be a professional billiards player, and his hobby was to play billiards. "If you lose, you will immediately disappear from my sight. Leave this resort and transfer from Xiao Xiao's class," Xiaoqin said. Since this person always harassed Xiao Xiao, it was necessary for him to help Xiao Xiao solve this problem. "You." Gao Bisi was stunned. He didn't expect Xiaoqin to make such a request. "Do you dare or not? If you are a man, then bet. If you are not, just forget what I said." Xiaoqin imitated Gao Bisi's tone and shouted. "Why wouldn't I dare? Okay, but if you lose, you will leave Xiao Xiao and never contact Xiao Xiao again. How about it?" Gao Bisi thought about it and said, "Okay." Xiaoqin nodded directly. "You say it. What do you want to play?" "Just the normal free fancy billiards." Gao Bisi said, "Let's play rock paper scissors to decide who will go first." "Oh, no need to guess. You go first. I'm afraid that if I win in rock paper scissors, you will have nothing to do with it," Xiaoqin said faintly. Gao Bisi was stunned, but then he remembered that Xiaoqin said that he wanted to admit defeat, so he thought that Xiaoqin was just pretending to be bad *SS. He suddenly smiled and said, "Okay, then I won't be polite." This time he learned to be smart. Whether Xiaoqin said anything or not, he didn't care. Winning was the key. Moreover, this time even if he played alone and Xiaoqin admitted defeat, he would still win. Before the gambling, he lost because he didn't agree on the bet. Otherwise, if the 50 bottles of wine were drunk, even if Xiaoqin didn't drink a bottle, he would still be the winner. Gao Bisi took a deep breath and prepared to start. His posture was very professional. He hit the cue ball elegantly. He was about to reap the joy of victory, but what he didn't expect was that the cue ball suddenly jumped over the billiard balls on the table and fell into the empty space behind. It rolled a few times and stopped. This. Gao Bisi was a little dumbfounded. What is this situation? How can I hit such a jump ball? It's not possible, right? He turned the cue in disbelief. He wanted to see if the cue split. You scared me. Your skills are just SOSO. I thought I was going to lose. Xiaoqin went up with the cue and hit it. All the balls on the table scattered. It seemed like there was no pattern to the shot, but he didn't expect that the ball would fall into the pocket. According to the rules, Xiaoqin continued, but Xiaoqin said, "It's your turn, right?" No matter how shameless Gao Bisi was, he couldn't go directly. There were still so many people watching. At this moment, he was also sure that Xiaoqin didn't know how to play billiard at all. He could only say with a black face, "It's still yours." Oh. Xiaoqin nodded and hit another ball, but this time no ball fell into the pocket. Finally, it was Gao Bisi's turn. Gao Bisi took a deep breath. He completely blamed the previous mistake because he was too anxious. At this moment, he calmed down and aimed before hitting again. However, what made Gao Bisi dumbfounded again was that the cue ball flew out with a whoosh and flew out of the billiard table. What's going on with this? Xiaoqin deliberately pretended not to know and asked, "Is this a very bad *SS play?" Chapter 7:15. Okay, Brother Gao. Zhou Aliang nodded and went to get the cue stick. I get it now. Only a martial artist can unleash a continuous stream of inner energy. You added inner energy to the ball, which is why the ball keeps hitting the ground. You're cheating. Gao Bisi roared. Watch me this time. I'll get it in one shot. Gao Bisi changed his cue stick and felt his confidence soar. He rubbed his palms together and stood beside the billiard table. With a bang, the ball flew out. Xiaoqin's side was still the same. He got a ball in one shot. The next shot didn't even hit the ball. The cue ball rolled on the table twice. It seemed that his level was very average. Chao Yuling was wearing a low-cut dress. As a result, she was hit directly. It was so painful that her tears almost came out. She couldn't help but exclaim, "Ah!" Therefore, although it looked like he was bumping around randomly, he was full of momentum. Very soon all the balls were knocked into the bag. Xiaoqin won. Brother Wang, there is a solo cultivator who is acting bad *SS in front of us. Can you help me deal with him? It's best to catch him and lock him up for a while. Gao Bisi lowered his voice and said, "Don't worry. There will definitely be benefits after this." Oh, it's my turn again. Xiaoqin shrugged. I say, Gao Bisi, your level is only like this. You still dare to compete with me? How much better can you be than a beginner like me? I think you're not as good as me. Xiaoqin was a little speechless. This Gao Bisi seemed to be endless. What if I'm from a martial arts sect? However, there was no other way. No matter how much he doubted it, Chao Yuling was now his fiancée. He could only carry her and quickly run out of the entertainment room. Ah. After Xiao Xiao heard it, her face turned red. She was a little shy. Okay, holy *T. Gao Bisi was about to go mad with anger. What was going on today? The ball seemed to be possessed by a demon. No matter how he played, he couldn't feel it. What he didn't know was that the ball wasn't possessed by a demon, but by Xiaoqin's primordial qi. Xiaoqin could use sword kinesis flight with ease, much less a small billiard ball. The ball flew out of the billiard table like a cannonball and flew towards the door of the recreation room. At this time, Chao Yuling and Qi Zhigao walked in. Coincidentally, the billiard ball hit Chao Yuling's cleavage with a dong, and was sandwiched between them. In the immortal resort near Songning City. Do you think you can come and investigate? Gao Bisi said carefully. He knew that Brother Wang was the deputy leader of Team B of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Naturally, he had the authority to investigate some cultivators, especially those rogue cultivators without any background. Oh, where are you? Brother Wang nodded to show that he understood. You are a martial arts master. Gao Bisi suddenly thought of a possibility. He pointed at Xiaoqin and shouted in disbelief. How is this possible? Gao Bisi looked at this scene in disbelief. How could anyone hit such a powerful ball? Xiaoqin casually hit another ball and it landed in the pocket. However, when he hit another ball, he hit the cue ball into the pocket. Don't look for excuses. Zhou Aliang, find another cue ball. Gao Bisi snorted. This result made Xiao extremely shocked. He didn't mean it. He just let Gao Bisi's ball fly out. Who knew it would hit Chao Yuling and even break her? What else can I do? Of course I want to be intimate with you, said Xiao. Oh, a rogue cultivator. Gao Bisi breathed a sigh of relief. If Xiao was from a sect, he would have to think about whether he could afford to provoke him. Now that he was a rogue cultivator, it didn't matter, so he said, how about this, let's compete in bowling? Okay. Xiao didn't expose him. Anyway, he was just playing with him. If he won in one go, it would be boring. After hesitating for a while, Gao Bisi decided to take action. He found a corner where there was no one, took out his phone and dialed a number. I think before the game, you'd better check on Chao Yuling's condition. Xiao couldn't be bothered to speak to this kind of shameless person. If it wasn't for the class reunion, he would have sent him flying with a kick. After speaking, he said to Xiao, let's go upstairs. Qi Zhigao's face was even uglier. Chao Yuling's chest was actually fake? Every time Chao Yuling made out with him, she turned off the light. He didn't pay much attention. But now he saw that Chao Yuling, an unmarried young girl, actually had this kind of surgery. Gao Bisi's eyes were burning, but he really didn't dare to do anything to Xiao. Although he believed that Xiao was a rogue cultivator without a sect, he was strong. He could only look at Xiao with a gloomy face as he left. Don't talk big. This cue doesn't fit me today. I'm going to change it. Gao Bisi's face was gloomy. He said to the boy who had just played with him, Zhou Aliang, help me change the cue. Everyone knew that bowling required skill, but pure strength was not enough. Xiao could imbue a billiard ball with his internal energy to make it spin continuously, but it was not suitable for bowling. No matter how much strength one had, no matter how continuous, the bowling ball could only be hit once. If it missed, it could not be hit again. Therefore, Gao Bisi came up with this method of competition in a flash of brilliance. In terms of strength, he should be a martial master, but not too high. He should be at the first level of martial master. Gao Bisi said, as for his background, he is the boyfriend of my classmate and I like that classmate. So, Brother Wang, you know. Bang. This time the cue ball didn't fly, but it didn't fall into the pocket either. The trajectory of the billiard ball was completely different from what he had expected. It would be strange if it could fall into the pocket. He had suspected that there was something between Gao Bisi and Chao Yuling before. Seeing this scene, he couldn't help but be angrier. So what? Xiao didn't deny it but asked back. However, Xiao was extremely annoyed with Chao Yuling. If he could let Qi Zhigao see the real face of this woman, it would not be in vain. Don't brag. If you were from the martial arts world, how could you like Xiao? Gao Bisi didn't believe it. Don't try to make up an identity to suppress me. It's useless. Just tell me if you want to compete or not. A rogue cultivator, Xiao said. Gao Bisi, did you do it on purpose? You want to flirt with Chao Yuling? Qi Zhigao was a little annoyed. What did Gao Bisi mean? Did he want to hit the billiard ball on Chao Yuling's chest? Wasn't this a blatant flirtation? Then let's go. Xiao hugged Xiao Zhao's arm and walked to the door of the recreation room with her in his arms. Nothing is impossible. Just have more strength. Xiao said faintly, okay, I won. You should get lost according to the agreement. A rogue cultivator? What strength? What's her background? After Brother Wang heard it, he didn't immediately agree but asked. Zhou Aliang quickly brought a cue ball. Xiao was too lazy to waste time with him. He hit it hard. The cue ball was like it was injected with chicken blood. It began to hit back and forth on the table, as if its power would never stop. Gao Bisi's face twitched. According to the rules, dropping the cue ball into the pocket was the same as sending the cue ball flying. It was a penalty of 1 stroke and the other side could play 2 strokes. However, since he had already stated the rules, it could not be changed. He could only play resentfully. This is my mistake. It's your turn. Gao Bisi's face turned red. In fact, according to the normal rules, Xiao could play 2 strokes in a row, but this rule wasn't stated. So he said, if you hit the ball away you will play. Now let's set this rule. Go upstairs? What? Xiao was watching excitedly. She was also very excited to see Xiao show his prowess. In the end, Xiao suddenly wanted to go upstairs. Oh, then you hit it away just now. It's my turn. Xiao was about to hit it, but he saw that the cue ball was gone. Right, you hit the ball on Chao Yuling before. It seems that you didn't take it out. Mistake. Gao Bisi's face darkened. After he sobered up, he knew that he had gone overboard just now. He shouldn't have said those words to Chao Yuling. Some things were tacitly understood. If he said it, it would break the rules of the aristocratic families. It was fine to play together, but it shouldn't affect their marriage. Moreover, Xiao Xiao was still there. What would Xiao Xiao think of him? Gao Bisi really wanted to beat up Xiao Chen, but he didn't dare. If Xiao Chen was a martial arts master, wouldn't he be courting death? Thinking of this, Gao Bisi could only say resentfully, "This doesn't count. Let's compete in other games. I didn't know you were a martial arts master before, but even if you were, Wait, which sector you from?" They wouldn't dare to say anything even if they found a random reason to lock them up and investigate them. Especially Group B, which was directly in charge of martial arts masters. Even some martial arts aristocratic families had to listen to them, let alone a rogue cultivator. "Young Master Gao, why are you looking for me?" A plain voice came from the other side of the phone. Although it was polite, it wasn't respectful. "Are you really stupid or pretending to be stupid? How did I cheat? Didn't you ask me to compete with you just to play? Why do you care how I played? Besides, you can do it too," Xiao Chen said disdainfully. In fact, his original intention of looking for Xiao Xiao was to take her as a concubine for fun. But now it had evolved into anger. If he didn't take Xiao Xiao down, how could he have face? Especially when he was slapped in the face by a rogue cultivator. "It's broken, it's broken," Qiao Yuling screamed. It turned out that her chest was plastic, but it was broken by the billiard ball. Fillers were flowing out. "Gao Bisi, don't you want to go and take a look? She's broken because of you," Xiao Chen reminded him. Don't say those useless things. Let's continue. I will definitely beat you today." Gao Bisi ignored Qiao Yuling. He was a disciple of a martial arts aristocratic family. An ordinary martial arts aristocratic family was nothing in his eyes. He believed that the Qiao family would be happy to compensate them after the event. Chapter 7:16. "Oh, I happen to be on a mission nearby. You wait for me. I will call you when I arrive." This brother Wang was naturally Wang Chake, the deputy leader of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's Team B. He didn't mind helping Gao Bisi. Team B had more dealings with those real martial arts families, and Gao Bisi happened to be the heir of the Gao family, so they usually had a lot of interactions. Wang Chake didn't mind helping him out. "Okay, thank you, brother Wang." Gao Bisi was overjoyed. "As long as I catch Xiao Chen and give him a few warnings, wouldn't I have a chance?" Thinking of this, Gao Bisi was also a lot happier. Qi Zhigao sent Qiao Yuling to the hospital. After opening the examination, he found out that it was only the padding inside the dress that was broken and leaking. Qiao Yuling herself had no problem. Although Qiao Yuling had undergone breast enlargement surgery, it wasn't something that could be broken with just one hit. She was in pain from being hit and the water was leaking at that time. She couldn't tell what was leaking, so she made a big mistake. Now she felt better and it wasn't so painful. Qi Zhigao could only return to the resort with Qiao Yuling. On the way, Qi Zhigao couldn't help but ask, "Qiao Yuling, why did you do this kind of surgery?" "I was just envious of those beauties with breast enlargement, so I did a surgery. It's not a big deal, right? It doesn't affect anything," Qiao Yuling said. "Didn't you like it in bed before?" Qi Zhigao was embarrassed and he didn't ask any more, but he increasingly felt that there was something wrong with Qiao Yuling. He even laughed at Qi Ziyuan for finding a B***, and he seemed to be the same. The two returned to the resort. Although the classmates came up to express their condolences, Qi Zhigao obviously felt that everyone's eyes were a little weird. After a few words, Qi Zhigao didn't have the mood to continue playing here, so he said, "Let's go up." "Oh." Qiao Yuling nodded. She was also a little annoyed with Gao Bisi. In her opinion, Gao Bisi was also intentional. He must be taking revenge on her for what happened during the meal. The two went upstairs. Qi Zhigao didn't say much. He stood alone in the bathroom and smoked. Qiao Yuling tried to seduce him several times, but it didn't work. Qi Zhigao rejected her coldly. "Qi Zhigao, what do you mean?" Qiao Yuling snorted. "Nothing, I just want to be alone," Qi Zhigao said coldly. "Up to you. I'm going out to get some fresh air." Qiao Yuling turned around and walked out of the room, but she didn't go anywhere else. Instead, she went to find Wu Yoha. Just now, she was stuck between a rock and a hard place, and it was a good time to solve it. She originally wanted to solve it on Qi Zhigao, but this guy didn't know what to do, so she couldn't blame others. Seeing that Qiao Yuling really slammed the door and left, Qi Zhigao was slightly stunned. He wondered if he was being too unreasonable. Furthermore, Qiao Yuling was his fiancée after all. Thinking of this, he wanted to chase after her. But he didn't expect to see Chao Yuling enter Wu Youhe's room with a seductive look the moment he stepped out of the door. As for Wu Youhe, he was practically half hugging and half carrying her in. A nefarious fire emerged from Qi Zhigao's chest. He wanted to rush over and break the door, but he shook his head after thinking about it. Chao Yuling was in a bad mood. It was reasonable to complain to her best friend. What if she was fine? Moreover, it was me who drove Chao Yuling away. Thinking of this, he calmed down and continued to smoke, but he didn't close the door. Instead, he left a gap in the door and kept an eye on Wu Youhe's room. About half an hour later, Qi Zhigao saw Chao Yuling walk out of the room with a flushed face. This made Qi Zhigao's heart suddenly twitch. He couldn't help but curse in his heart. Did I really do something shameful? Qi Zhigao just wanted to rush out of the door, but he saw Chao Yuling stop at the door of another room. She knocked on the door, which made Qi Zhigao's footsteps stop. He held back his anger and wanted to see what Chao Yuling was going to do. The door opened and the person who popped his head out was actually Gao Bisi. Qi Zhigao didn't expect this. Could Chao Yuling be looking for Gao Bisi to settle the score? Actually, that wasn't the case. When Chao Yuling came out from Wu Youhe's room, she didn't feel satisfied, so she thought of Gao Bisi. The anger of being hit had long been thrown to the back of her mind. And? Gao Bisi was slightly stunned when he saw the person outside the door. Why did you hit me just now? Also, did you drink too much? What nonsense were you talking about when you were eating? Of course, Chao Yuling wouldn't directly say her purpose. That would seem a bit too cheap. I didn't do it on purpose. I drank too much. The billiard ball after that must have been done by Xiao Chang. That kid is a martial master and has internal force. I suspect that he injected internal force into the billiard ball so it hit you. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to do it. Gao Bisi explained. Is that so? After Chao Yuling heard this, the expression on her face turned from gloomy to sunny. Of course. What's wrong, little beauty? Have you forgiven your brother? Come in and play with your brother. Gao Bisi saw the flush on Chao Yuling's face. He was a little moved and reached out to hug her. After some hesitation, Chao Yuling followed Gao Bisi into the room. Qi Zhigao was so angry that his whole body was trembling. He cursed in his heart, bitch. As expected. I was really blind. However, even though he was angry for a moment, Qi Zhigao didn't know what to do. Although Chao Yuling was like this, if he fell out with Chao Yuling, it would be equivalent to the Qi family falling out with the Chao family. His helpers would all be gone. Not only that, but he might also become a sinner of the Qi family if he offended the Chao family. At that time, the position of young master would no longer be his. For a moment, he really didn't know how to make a decision. However, if he just accepted it like this, he would really be too aggrieved. Although Qin Xiaojiao, who Qi Ziyuan found, had a messy private life, after following Qi Ziyuan, she behaved herself and didn't cause any more trouble. However, this Chao Yuling was different. She was sneaky and pretended to be decent on the surface, but she did some dirty and shameless things behind his back. Finally, Qi Zhigao couldn't control his mood. If they fell out, so be it. At worst, he would not be the young master anymore. He really couldn't stand this kind of woman. This kind of woman was too hateful. She was simply playing him like a monkey. Qi Zhigao pushed the door open and rushed out. Then he kicked Gao Bisi's door. With a loud bang, the door split open and he saw an unbearable scene. He saw Chao Yuling kneeling on the ground, doing unimaginable things while Gao Bisi was behind her. This made Qi Zhigao's blood boil. Chao Yuling, what else do you want to say? Gao Bisi, you bastard. Qi Zhigao pointed at the two of them and scolded at the top of his voice. Chao Yuling was shocked. She let out a scream and suddenly lay on the ground. She didn't believe that Qi Zhigao would rush in. Brat, are you crazy? How dare you kick my door? You don't want to live, do you? Gao Bisi was shocked and almost fell ill. Fortunately, his body shivered and he ended the fight. He didn't care about pulling up his pants. He directly shook off Chao Yuling and walked to Qi Zhigao. Qi Zhigao's eyes were burning. You actually went in directly like this. Chao Yuling, you want me to take safety measures when you are with me. You said that you are afraid of getting pregnant. You are really a bitch. Shameless. Gao Bisi, I will fight with you. Gao Bisi's slap sent Qi Zhigao sprawling on the ground. Although Qi Zhigao was a martial artist, his level was too low. He was simply not Gao Bisi's opponent, a high-level martial artist. You don't care about your own woman and you still talk about me? Do you still have the face? Gao Bisi kicked Qi Zhigao's body again and again. In an instant, Qi Zhigao's head became like a pig's head. He didn't care anymore. He had just suffered a setback from Xiao Qin and had nowhere to vent his anger. Now all of it was directed at Qi Zhigao. Furthermore, he didn't show any mercy. Qi Zhigao spat out a mouthful of blood and fainted. At this time, Chao Yuling reacted and quickly shouted, "Gao Bisi, don't hit him. He is dead. Dead is dead. What can I do?" Gao Bisi sneered. "He is just a child of an ordinary family. What can I do even if I beat him to death? He kicked the door and provoked me first. Even if the Warrior Guild and the Supernatural Investigation Bureau are involved, he is not in the right. I beg you, don't hit him." Although Chao Yuling was a bad person, she didn't want anything to happen to Qi Zhigao. Moreover, being with Qi Zhigao was also good for the Chao family. The Chao family was after the Qi family's business. Now, how could she be with Qi Zhigao in the future? If Gao Bisi didn't hit him, he would admit his mistake and ask the Gao family to compensate the Qi family. This matter would probably be over. But now it was all too late. Go to hell. Gao Bisi jumped up and stomped heavily on Qi Zhigao's chest. Qi Zhigao spat out a mouthful of blood again. His sternum caved in. It was unknown whether he was dead or alive. Then he ignored Chao Yuling. He put on his clothes alone and strode out. Sob, sob, sob. Chao Yuling cried. She didn't expect things to turn out like this. The loud noise also alerted the students in the nearby rooms. They all ran over to see. They saw Chao Yuling naked and Qi Zhigao lying on the ground. It was unknown whether he was dead or alive. Xiao Qin and Xiao Xiao also heard the noise. They walked out and saw this shocking scene. "Qi Zhigao, what happened to you?" Xiao Qin walked over quickly. His eyes swept over the naked Chao Yuling with a sharp gaze. "What's going on?" He was beaten by Gao Bisi," Chao Yuling said while crying. "Why was he beaten?" Xiao Qin asked. He caught me with Gao Bisi, and then..." Chao Yuling couldn't care less about her embarrassment. She could only answer truthfully, "Xiao Qin, you are so powerful. Save Qi Zhigao. He is dying." Chapter 717. Xiao Qin frowned. He didn't care if Chao Yuling called his real name. Instead, he ran the mantra and quickly healed Qi Zhigao. Qi Zhigao's injury was very serious. If it wasn't treated in time, he might not have long to live. What Xiao Qin didn't expect was that Gao Bisi had already treated Chao Yuling like this just now, and this woman still came to have sex with him. It was really hard to imagine. How could this woman be so cheap to this extent? It was simply unimaginable. In Qi Zhigao's body, many internal organs had been ruptured, and his bones were broken. If it weren't for Xiao Chen's universal vitality, he wouldn't have survived even if he was sent to the hospital. It took a while to heal Qi Zhigao's internal injuries, but Xiao Chen didn't care about those external injuries. After a while, Qi Zhigao woke up faintly. When he saw Xiao Chen treating him, his eyes suddenly became wet and tears fell. "Brother Xiao, thank you. It's nothing. You go back to the room and rest first. Chao Yuling, this is your own matter. I don't want to interfere, but I hope you two can solve it properly. Don't force me to kill you." Xiao Chen said faintly, "You should know that if I kill you, no one dares to do anything. Chao Yuliang is a dog in front of me, even worse than a dog. I can also trample his master, Qing Mingqiang, to death if I say so." Chao Yuling shivered all over. Xiao Chen's gaze made her dodge a little. Her body was cold. At this moment she finally knew what stupid thing she had done. Previously she actually wanted to deal with Xiao Chen. That was simply courting death. If she wasn't Qi Zhigao's fiancée, Xiao Chen would have killed her already, right? Yes. Chao Yuling didn't dare to say anything more. She was going to help Qi Zhigao back to the room. "Get lost." Qi Zhigao broke free. "Even if you don't find it shameful, I find it shameful." After that, he staggered towards the direction of his room. Chao Yuling quickly put on her clothes and quickly chased after him. This kind of thing was the most difficult to intervene. Xiao Chen could help him beat Gao Bisi, but he couldn't beat Chao Yuling. He could only let Qi Zhigao solve it himself. The onlookers also didn't know the truth. They didn't know how badly Qi Zhigao was injured, nor did they know how much effort Xiao Chen had spent to save him. Seeing that there was no good show to watch, they all dispersed. In fact, for this kind of thing, everyone was just watching the fun and it had nothing to do with them. Apart from sympathizing with Qi Zhigao, it had nothing to do with them, so they also went about their own business. "Brother, this is bad," Xiao Xiao whispered. "Qi Zhigao is really unlucky. If you had promised him, he wouldn't be like this." Xiao Chen sighed and rubbed Xiao Zhao's head. "This Chao Yuling is really tough. I don't like him. I've always treated him as my brother," Xiao Xiao said. "What about me?" Xiao Chen felt a little awkward. "I've always treated you as my boyfriend," said Xiao Xiao. Xiao Chen was dumbfounded. What kind of logic is this? My brother is my boyfriend, but Qi Zhigao is my brother. I don't know what Xiao Zhao's little brain is thinking. Do you really think so? I lied to you. But before I see the person I like, I will use you as a shield. Xiao Xiao stuck out her tongue. That's more like it. Xiao Chen breathed a sigh of relief. Otherwise it would be really difficult. Let's go and see them. Don't fight, said Xiao Xiao. Now. Xiao Chen's expression was a little weird. How do we go now? Let them solve it themselves? You're right. Xiao Xiao thought about it. She saw that Chao Yuling was not wearing clothes and her body was sticky. It was disgusting. She didn't want to go. Let's go downstairs. It seems that the group activity has started. And then let's go down and see. Xiao Chen nodded. Qi Zhigao returned to the room and Chao Yuling followed. As soon as she entered the door, she kissed Qi Zhigao, wanting to get forgiveness. However, Qi Zhigao was so disgusted that he almost vomited. Get lost. Don't disgust me. Chao Yuling was stunned. Only then did she remember that there were still a few crystal dry marks hanging on her mouth. Anyone with a discerning eye would know what it was. It was normal for Qi Zhigao to be disgusted. She could only kneel in front of Qi Zhigao. I'm sorry, I was wrong. Wrong? What did you say to me? Didn't you say that nothing happened? Are your words bullsh*t? Qi Zhigao roared. Chao Yuling, from today on you are you and I am me. We have nothing to do with each other. If you want to be a B***T, go ahead. No. Qi Zhigao, please forgive me. I really didn't mean to betray you. It's just that there was some contact in the past and it's not good to cut it off. Otherwise they would have threatened me with these things. I was just afraid that you would know, so I compromised. Really? Chao Yuling cried. I'm sorry. What's the point of saying this? Qi Zhigao sneered. If you confessed earlier and cut off contact with them, I might not be so angry, but now, Zhigao, think about it. If we fall out, then the Qi family and the Chao family will be against each other. The business of the Qi family in Songning City and the business of the Chao family in your family will be affected. Are you willing to do that? And you will have no chance with the position of the young master. Chao Yuling said, calm down and think about it. What? Are you threatening me? Qi Zhigao said angrily. I don't dare. What I said is the truth. Zhigao, please forgive me. At worst, I will agree to let you find a few more lovers, okay? I can help you find them. I won't dare to do it again. Chao Yuling cried and begged. Qi Zhigao had actually calmed down at this moment. He was hot-headed before, but now he was thinking about the consequences. Chao Yuling was right. If they fell out, it meant that the Qi family and the Chao family would fall out. Thinking of this, Qi Zhigao sighed. Are you sure you won't dare to do it in the future? I won't dare. You can supervise me or put a bug on me. Chao Yuling was happy. It seemed that Qi Zhigao was soft-hearted. She quickly said, okay, then I'll see your performance in the future. But it's impossible for me to treat you like before. Qi Zhigao said faintly. Although he hated Chao Yuling, he could only bear it when he thought about the business of the Qi family and the Chao family. It was a small matter if he didn't want to be the young master, but he would be a sinner if it affected the family. And then just watch my performance. I'm going to take a bath. Chao Yuling nodded quickly. By the way, is Xiao Chen so powerful? He can actually heal you? You recovered so quickly? Well, don't tell anyone about this. Qi Zhigao warned. Although he also admired Xiao Chen, he also knew that some things had to be kept secret. I know, but he is so powerful and you have a good relationship with him. You can use his help to help you get promoted. Chao Yuling said. In this way you will be the young master. You don't need to say these things. Qi Zhigao looked at Chao Yuling coldly. Why don't you take a bath? Don't you find it disgusting? I'm going to vomit. I'll go right away. Chao Yuling walked to the bathroom, but she was thinking in her heart. It turns out that Xiao Chen is so powerful, and he has a good relationship with Qi Zhigao. Can I use him? Why don't I seduce Xiao Chen myself? When Xiao Chen gets the benefits, I have to help. It's just that guy doesn't seem to like me. I can't seduce him. Xiao Chen sneezed and cursed who was talking about him behind his back. Xiao Xiao was stunned. Brother, did you catch a cold? No, how can I catch a cold so easily? I'm already a martial arts master. Xiao Chen said. Oh, you scared me. Xiao Xiao breathed a sigh of relief. Xiao Xiao, are you okay? Why are you so concerned? Sun Nanshui heard Xiao Xiao's nervous tone and couldn't help but tease. What's wrong with me caring about my brother? Right, do you know what to play? Xiao Xiao asked. It seems to be something like truth or dare. It's just to go on stage and draw lots. You have to do whatever you draw. Anyway, it's just these games. What else can there be? Sun Nanshua smiled. Isn't every gathering like this? That's true. I read in some novels that they will play something like a safe kiss. It's just two people holding a glass in the middle and kissing. That's quite interesting, Xiao Xiao said. Forget it. Our class monitor is so conservative. We can't play such a large-scale game. Besides, if two boys draw the same number, it'll be terrible. Sun Nanshua said. It's gay. Xiao Xiao smiled. They entered the recreation room. At this time, the recreation room had been tidied up. There were chairs arranged neatly in a circle. In the middle, there was something like a lottery box. Two students stood beside the lottery box. One of them was the class monitor, called Qin Muzhen. The other was his assistant, called Wang Tianqi. She was a girl. All right, everyone sit down. You might have guessed it. The game we are playing is called Truth or Dare. You have to do whatever you draw. Of course, it's not compulsory to participate. If you don't want to play, you can leave now. But if you are sitting here, you have to play. Qin Muzhen said, you can't say that you don't want to play and still stay here to watch the fun. That's not allowed. If you laugh at others and don't go on stage, it'll be boring. Qin Muzhen's words were fair. Otherwise, if some people didn't want to go on stage and make a fool of themselves, they wouldn't have a chance. Xiao Qin glanced at Xiao Xiao and said, are we playing here? Of course we're playing. Xiao Xiao was very excited. It's nothing. There won't be any embarrassing risks. Xiao Qin nodded. Since Xiao Xiao likes it, let's play. However, what surprised Xiao Qin was that Qi Zhigao actually came with Chao Yuling. The relationship between the two didn't seem to be affected much. Only Chao Yuling's red eyes proved what happened just now. Chapter 7:18. Of course, since the person involved was fine, the other students didn't continue to talk about it. This was their family business. It wasn't good to talk too much about it. Gao Bisi didn't come. No one knew where he went. In fact, after Gao Bisi beat up the person, he regretted and worried a little. He was the son of the Jinwu aristocratic family, but beating up the son of an aristocratic family was also a big deal. After all, although he said that he was in the right, it was actually untenable. He slept with the person's wife and beat the person to death. If this was investigated, it would be a big deal. After thinking about it, Gao Bisi decided to go all out. He directly dialed Wang Chake's phone again. What's the matter, young Master Gao? I will definitely be there tomorrow morning. Wang Chake said impatiently. It's like this. Just now Gao Bisi didn't hide it and explained the cause and effect of the matter. After listening, Wang Chake was a little shocked. Why are you so impulsive? Although the Qi family is an ordinary family, they are not weak. Now it's great. What do you want to do? Or, in for a penny, in for a pound. When you come tomorrow, Brother Wang, help me to convict the Qi family. Anyway, Qi Zhigao can't live. At that time, we can convict him and give the Qi family a blow. Gao Bisi said ruthlessly. That's not good, right? Wang Chake frowned. Brother Wang, our Gao family will fully cooperate. Moreover, our Gao family doesn't want the money after the attack. All of it will belong to you. What do you think? Our Gao family is not far from the Qi family. We can help directly, said Gao Bisi. Let me think about it. I'll call you later. Wang Chake was a little tempted, but he still had to discuss it with someone. Moreover, he couldn't eat such a big cake by himself. Okay. I'll wait for your good news, Brother Wang. Gao Bisi was overjoyed. He believed that as long as he had Wang Chake's help, it would be foolproof. Thinking of this, he also breathed a sigh of relief. He lit a cigarette and smoked. Of course, before he received accurate information, he didn't want to meet Qi Zhigao, Xiao Chang, and the others. It was better to hide for the time being and fight tomorrow. In the recreation room, everyone took their places. Qin Muzhen began to call the roll. The student sitting in the front row began to draw lots. It was a boy with a buzz cut. He shyly took out a small piece of paper from the lottery box and handed it to Qin Muzhen. Belly dance in public. Qin Muzhen chuckled. Belly dance? Can I not dance? The boy was stunned and felt a little embarrassed. That won't do. We're all out to play. If we don't follow the rules, it'll be boring, Qin Muzhen said. All right then. The boy had no choice but to lift up his clothes and reveal his belly. He spun a few times on the spot. There was a burst of laughter from the audience. However, since he had jumped up, the boy was more open and laughed along with him. Okay, next. Qin Muzhen saw that the opening was good and was very happy. The second person who came up was a girl wearing glasses. She carefully took out a piece of paper. Qin Muzhen took it and read, "This is a truth question. I ask a question and you have to answer it truthfully. If you lie, then the guy doesn't have a small penis and the girl has her period every day." Who wrote this? Come out, I promise I won't beat you to death. Qin Muzhen's words immediately attracted a burst of laughter from the students below the stage. These small pieces of paper were written by a large group of students. At this time it was unknown who wrote it, but such a vicious curse was really intoxicating. And? The girl also nodded awkwardly. You can ask. I promise to answer truthfully. Have you watched AV movies before? Qin Muzhen asked with a face full of black lines. The question written on the paper was fine to ask a boy, but the key was to ask a girl. The girl suddenly blushed. She hesitated for a long time. Perhaps she thought of the vicious curse, so she could only nod. Yes, yes. Oh? There was another uproar from the audience. The girl panicked and ran down with a red face. She was a little shy and didn't dare to raise her head. Next. Qin Muzhen shook her head and continued the game. According to the order, the students who were sitting went up one by one. They either asked him to do some embarrassing things or asked some strange questions. Anyway, everyone couldn't escape after going up. The entire recreation room was also full of laughter. It made Xiaoqin feel like he had returned to the time when he was still in school. Thinking about it, he had been away from school for a while. Not long after, it was Xiao Zhao's turn. After she went up, she also took out a piece of paper and handed it to Qin Muzhen. Let me see what our class goddess Xiao Xiao got. Qin Muzhen smiled and took it. She opened it and read, choose one person present to kiss. It must be mouth to mouth. As soon as Qin Muzhen said this, the students below suddenly became excited. This was the boldest adventure note so far. Although there were some embarrassing things in the past, they weren't as bold as this. Xiaoqin was a little helpless. He didn't know what Xiao Xiao was doing. He wanted to expose her, but he felt that it wasn't a good idea. He could only bite the bullet and see who she would choose next. Anyway, the note didn't restrict the gender, so he could choose Sun Nanxue. Brother Chang, darling, come on. Xiao Xiao waved at Xiaoqin. Xiaoqin was speechless. It was as he expected. Xiao Xiao had secretly made a piece of paper. Others couldn't tell, but Xiaoqin, who was a cultivator with sharp senses, naturally saw it. However, in this situation he couldn't refuse. Xiao Xiao would be very embarrassed. He had no choice but to bite the bullet and go up on stage. Fortunately, the two of them were brother and sister. It wasn't like they hadn't kissed before. Xiaoqin could only comfort himself this way. Everyone knew that Xiao Chang was Xiao Zhao's boyfriend, so it wasn't strange. However, some boys were very disappointed. Goddess Xiao had been taken away, so they didn't have a chance. After Xiaoqin went up on stage, he glared at Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao giggled and quickly pecked Xiaoqin's lips before separating. It was obvious that she didn't want to let everyone watch a show, which made Xiaoqin heave a sigh of relief. After they were done, the two of them planned to go down. Xiaoqin wanted to scold Xiao Xiao, but he was stopped by Qin Muzhen. Wait, Xiao Chang, it's your turn. You don't have to go down. Oh okay. Xiaoqin had no choice but to turn around and draw a piece of paper. Let someone ride on his neck and bring him around the entertainment room. Qin Muzhen read. Xiaoqin was speechless. His luck was really off the charts. What he was afraid of came true. He was afraid that he would draw a piece of paper that had intimate contact with Xiao Xiao, but the result was... Fortunately, this was nothing. Xiaoqin was a little unwilling to let someone ride on his neck. He was also a martial master. How could he let someone ride on him? However, Xiao Xiao was fine with it. When she was young, he often played with her like this and let her ride on him. After thinking about it, it was considered lucky that it wasn't a kiss or a hug. Thus, he said to Xiao Xiao, who hadn't sat down yet, "Come on up." Xiao Xiao ran over happily. Xiaoqin squatted down and Xiao Xiao immediately fell on top of him. She didn't hesitate at all and went up and said, "Go, go." Stop it. Xiaoqin stood up and began to spin around in the entertainment room with Xiao Xiao on his back. Xiao Xiao was not obedient. She twisted around on top of him, which made Xiaoqin involuntarily think of Xin Jingxian. In the past, he also held Xin Jingxian like this, but it was a kind of enjoyment at that time. Now it was a kind of torture. If Xiao Xiao was a child, it would be fine, but now she was an adult. Her legs shook back and forth in front of him, which made Xiaoqin really crazy. He had to warn her, "If you move around again, I will throw you down. If you scare me again, I will pee all over you," Xiao Xiao said. Xiaoqin was slightly surprised, but he didn't feel that there was anything ambiguous in these words because he remembered when he was a child. At that time he held Xiao Xiao like this and the little girl peed all over him, which made Xiao Qin really helpless. How old are you? You are still playing this. Ah, how old are you? You're also my brother. I want to play. Xiao Xiao threatened. If you don't carry me properly, I will pee. Okay, I am really afraid of you. Xiao Qin smiled bitterly. You still know how to scare people. I'm just scaring you, so what? Xiao Xiao laughed. Aren't you afraid of losing face? There are so many classmates, I don't believe you dare. Xiao Qin said angrily. You see if I dare or not. Anyway, you will lose face when the time comes. Xiao Xiao said indifferently. Alright, you've gone one round. Go down, you won't have another chance. Xiao Qin said after going one round. So fast, go home and continue playing with me. Xiao Xiao reluctantly jumped down and sat back on the chair. Qi Zhigao looked over with some envy, but he didn't think much about it. After all, he knew that Xiao Qin and Xiao Xiao were brother and sister. It was not a big deal for them to be close. What are you looking at, Zhigao? Do you still like Xiao Xiao? Qiao Yuling asked in a low voice. She doesn't like me, I am just looking. Qi Zhigao shook his head. By the way, do you think Xiao Xiao and Xiao Qin have something going on? Look at them, they are so intimate, they are not like brother and sister. Qiao Yuling said. Don't talk nonsense. Qi Zhigao warned. Why are you so anxious? I will tell you secretly. I think Xiao Xiao seems to be picked up. Look at Xiao Xiao's mother, she is very ordinary. Why is Xiao Xiao so beautiful? Qiao Yuling said, so, I think they both know the situation. Maybe they have already slept together at home and pretended to come outside. Otherwise, how can they be so good? Will you die if you don't talk nonsense? Qi Zhigao said angrily, they have a good relationship with their sister, and they did not do anything out of line. But you, do you have something going on with your brother? Chapter 719. Ah. Qiao Yuling was stunned, then she quickly shook her head. How is that possible? Then why are you talking about others? Qi Zhigao snorted. I'm telling you, if you talk nonsense again, don't say that I'm ignoring you. Okay. I just think that if something really happens to Xiao Chen and Xiao Xiao, we can use it to threaten them. You might be able to get intimate with them. Qiao Yuling said. I'm not interested. It's your turn. Go on stage and draw lots. Qi Zhigao said faintly. Okay. Qiao Yuling happily went to the front. She fumbled in the lottery box and found a piece of paper. Qin Muzhen took the small piece of paper. She only glanced at what was written on it and her expression was weird. She didn't know if she should read it or not. She was in a dilemma for a while. To be honest, even if it was a game, he didn't want to embarrass his classmates, especially Qiao Yuling. What's wrong? Why don't you read it? Qiao Yuling was somewhat inexplicable. She also fantasized about kissing Qi Zhigao, and then let Qi Zhigao find some feeling of being loved, but why didn't Qin Muzhen read it? Qiao Yuling, why don't you change to another lottery? Qin Muzhen hesitated and said. Change? What? Qiao Yuling was stunned and then said, can't this one? It's not that it can't, but... Qin Muzhen didn't know how to say it. I can only explain it this way. The scale is relatively large. Oh, it's okay. You read it? When she heard that the scale was relatively large, Qiao Yuling was relieved. She was afraid that the scale wasn't large. If she could have a French kiss in public, it would be good too. Okay. Qin Muzhen had to say, do a striptease on stage. Take off at least 3 pieces of clothes. Qiao Yuling was stunned. The audience couldn't help but burst into laughter. Qiao Yuling had been seen by a lot of people previously. Although she had put on her clothes now, Qin Muzhen's words reminded them of what had happened before. Qi Zhigao's face turned black. This Qiao Yuling really wouldn't die if she didn't ask for it. I already asked her to change, but she didn't. Now she is dumbfounded, right? Come on, Qiao Yuling. Qin Muzhen had no choice but to say so. Can I change it now? Qiao Yuling asked weakly. Although she was a bad person, she still had to consider Qi Zhigao's feelings. If it wasn't for Qi Zhigao, it wouldn't be a big deal for her to take off her clothes in public, but now? Definitely not. I already told you to change it, but you didn't listen. Now that you've read it out loud, if you change it, the other students will also have to change it. This game will be meaningless. Qin Muzhen shook her head and said, it's early spring now. Everyone is wearing a lot of clothes. I think you'll only be wearing underwear if you take off 3 pieces of clothing. It's nothing. Okay. Qiao Yuling had no other choice but to dance. To be honest, Qiao Yuling's dancing posture was not bad. It was as if she had been professionally trained. It was very sexy and attractive, which made the blood of the boys in the class boil. However, Qi Zhigao's face was very gloomy. He felt that he was going to die of embarrassment, but he had no choice. For the family business he had to endure it. Chao Yuling skillfully took off the outermost jacket, revealing a small vest inside. Soon the small vest was taken off and there was a shirt inside. It couldn't be helped. The shirt had to be taken off in the end. However, as soon as the shirt was taken off, the boys present let out a burst of exclamation. It turned out that Chao Yuling was wearing a sexy underwear inside. The looming translucent state was very tempting. Qi Zhigao was a little embarrassed. He couldn't help but snort coldly. Fortunately, the striptease was over. Chao Yuling hurriedly put on her clothes, lowered her head and ran to Qi Zhigao's side to sit down. "Hey big pervert brother, why are you so engrossed in it? Am I prettier or is she prettier?" Xiao Xiao pinched Xiao Qin. "How am I engrossed in it? I'm stunned." Xiao Qin was a little speechless. "You're prettier, okay? So, did you peek at me?" Xiao Xiao lowered her voice. Xiao Qin didn't answer because he couldn't answer this question. Seeing that Xiao Qin didn't answer, Xiao Xiao snorted angrily. Then she ignored him. Next it was Qi Zhigao's turn. However, the paper that Qi Zhigao drew asked him to sing a random song, but he couldn't use the original lyrics. He had to modify it on the spot. This was not difficult, so Qi Zhigao passed it easily. Most importantly, he didn't want to stay here anymore. He turned around and walked out of the recreation room. Chao Yuling hurriedly followed him. Xiao Qin shook his head. Although Qi Zhigao and Chao Yuling could be together reluctantly, they probably wouldn't be happy. He really couldn't understand why the women of those big families were like that. But why didn't he meet them? Qing Minjing was not like that. Shen Jingxian was not like that. Jin Beibei and Xiao Xiao were not like that. But Chao Yuling was like that. Not long after they went out, there was a crisp sound of a slap outside the door, followed by a woman sobbing. Obviously it was Chao Yuling. Gao Bisi secretly returned to his room when his classmates were in the recreation room. The door of the room had been repaired by the hotel staff. Anyway, it was just some compensation. He didn't care at all. Compared with the Qi family that he was going to annex tomorrow, this was nothing at all. He had been waiting for Wang Chake's call. Finally Wang Chake called. Wang Chake's own power was not enough. He needed a helper to do this kind of shady business of annexing a family. This helper was his good friend Pang Fengde. After Pang Fengde heard it, he happily agreed. So Wang Chake replied to Gao Bisi. "Child Gao, I have discussed with someone about what you said. It is feasible. I will go to you tomorrow and then my friend will investigate the Qi family. The crime is attacking the core children of the real martial arts family." Wang Chake said, "By the way, are you sure that Qi Zhigao is dead?" Even if he is not dead, he is in a vegetative state. It is impossible for him to speak." Gao Bisi said affirmatively. "That woman, she won't talk nonsense, right?" asked Wang Chake. "No, she is just *TC. I will hook up with her and promise some conditions to let her be my concubine or something. I think it will be fine." Gao Bisi said confidently. He was a child of the real martial arts family. If he let Chao Yuling be a concubine, Chao Yuling would be very happy. The Chao family would also be very happy. "And that's good." Wang Chake nodded. "In that case, tomorrow you let the Gao family and my friend Pang Fengde do it together. You should also know Pang Fengde, right? The leader of the newcomer group that we had a meal together last time." "Brother Pang, of course I know." Gao Bisi said quickly. "No problem. I will contact my family and let them contact you. And do it as soon as possible. We will take action early tomorrow morning." Wang Chake nodded. "No problem." Gao Bisi hung up the phone excitedly, then directly dialed his father's phone number and told him about the matter here. Gao Bisi's father, Gao Dingyang, said, "Bisi, are you sure that the Supernatural Investigation Bureau will fully cooperate with us to annex the Qi family? And this reason is a bit far-fetched, isn't it?" The reason is just an excuse. With the help of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, we can destroy him if we want. What can he do?" Gao Bisi laughed. "Father, don't worry. I have arranged everything. You can directly contact Brother Wang. He will arrange what you should do. If that is the case, then I am relieved. I will contact Wang Chake now." Gao Dingyang nodded and said with relief, "By CI, I'm very happy that you can make a profit for the family. I am the young master of the family. Of course I have to think for the family." Gao Bisi laughed. After the end of Truth or Dare, it was already past 10 o'clock. It was already late. Everyone was free to do whatever they wanted. If they wanted to rest, they could go back and rest. Xiao Chen was bored, so he returned to his room. Xiao Xiao, who was following behind, suddenly said, "Brother, carry me for a while more." "That's enough. We are brother and sister, not a couple." Xiao Chen glared at Xiao Xiao. "You say, what if we are not related?" Xiao Xiao suddenly said. "What do you mean?" Xiao Chen frowned. "Nothing." Xiao Xiao shook her head. "When I was a child, I heard that I was picked up." "Do you believe that?" "When I was a child, I also asked my father how I came to be. He said that I was given away by the lottery." Xiao Chen smiled and said, "That was just a lie to you. You are too young to explain that you were born in the stomach." "Humph, well, I can't even imagine it." Xiao Xiao snorted. Suddenly she felt a little uneasy. Is it really like what Xiao Chen said? Is he lying to me? What can I do? Thinking of this, Xiao Xiao's mood suddenly became a little depressed. Back in the room, Xiao Xiao went to take a hot shower and went to bed. However, what surprised Xiao Chen was that Xiao Xiao didn't behave too boldly today. When she came out of the bathroom, she had already put on her pajamas and covered herself tightly. She didn't reveal anything. However, Xiao Chen was a little uncomfortable. He shook his head and went to take a shower. Then he lay on the bed and wanted to hug Xiao Xiao. He didn't expect Xiao Xiao to break away and say softly, "You are right. Although we are brother and sister, there is a difference between men and women. I will sleep by myself." "Oh." Xiao Chen was stunned. He couldn't believe his ears. "Xiao Xiao, are you angry?" "No, let's sleep. I'm a little tired." Xiao Xiao's voice had indescribable fatigue and irritation. When Xiao Chen heard Xiao Xiao say so, he didn't say anything more. He thought that Xiao Xiao might really be angry because of what he said. However, they are brother and sister anyway. She shouldn't hold a grudge. Thinking of this, Xiao Chen also fell asleep. Chapter 720. It was a quiet night. Early the next morning, when Xiao Chen was practicing, he heard a noise in the corridor. Then his room was suddenly knocked on. The knocking on the door was very urgent. It woke up Xiao Xiao, who was sleeping soundly. "Brother, who is so annoying? Go and beat him to death." "You're not angry with me?" Xiao Chen heard Xiao Xiao's words and suddenly smiled. "Who's angry with you? In fact, I think you're right. I was a little too casual before. I have to avoid it. Otherwise people will mistake me as a slut like Chao Yuling. I won't be able to get married then." Xiao Xiao wrinkled her nose and said cutely, "It's good that you're not angry." Xiao Chen smiled. "Then you wait. I'm going to beat him to death." Xiao Chen jumped out of bed and walked to the door of the room. He shouted angrily, "Who is it? You woke up so early in the morning. Are you courting death? Open the door. I'm Gao Bisi. I have something to talk to you about." Gao Bisi's voice came from outside the door. "Phew. What the F asterisk CK? If you have something to say, just say it." Xiao Chen was a little impatient when he heard it. "If you don't open the door, I will kick it." Gao Bisi threatened. "I think you want to die, right?" Xiao Chen opened the door, but to his surprise, not only was Gao Bisi outside the room, but there was another person. The person inside, I'm Wang Chake, the deputy leader of Team B of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. You are suspected of participating in a Wulin illegal case. Now go back with me for investigation. Wang Chake waited for the door to open and he said it routinely. But when he saw that the person inside was Xiao Chen, he was a little dumbfounded. He had been bullied by Xiao Chen, especially when this guy's wanted order was cancelled inexplicably. Even Yang Jianan couldn't do anything about him. What could he do? Why is it this guy? Wang Chake was a little annoyed. Gao Bisi really harmed people. What a rogue cultivator. Ugh, but Xiao Chen seems to be a rogue cultivator. I was just joking. I got the wrong person. I'm leaving. Wang Chake turned to leave. Stop, come back here. Xiao Chen snorted coldly. I told you I found the wrong person. Wang Chake quickened his pace. If you don't stop, don't blame me if I beat you to death. Xiao Chen said indifferently. A wave of pressure was released. This was the strength of a level 3 devil master. Wang Chake shuddered all over and hurriedly halted his steps, not daring to take another step forward. He turned around with an apologetic smile and chuckled, "Xiao Chen, I'm just here to play, really? You come here." Xiao Chen pointed at Wang Chake. "Okay." Wang Chake had no choice but to bite the bullet and return. He looked at Xiao Chen and asked, "What's the matter?" Gao Bisi was a little dumbfounded at this moment. He couldn't figure out the situation. "Brother Wang, what are you doing? Aren't you going to arrest him?" Catch your mother? Wang Chake said angrily. Shut up. Who are you? I don't know you. Brother Wang, what's going on? You know each other? Gao Bisi felt that things had changed. It didn't seem to be as simple as he thought. Wang Chake couldn't be bothered with him. He rubbed his hands and looked at Xiao Qin. That young hero Xiao, we're considered acquaintances, right? We've worked together for so long. Can you give me some face? Oh, okay. Kill him, then you can leave. Otherwise you'll die. Xiao Qin said indifferently. Xiao Qin, are you going too far? Do you really dare to kill me? Wang Chake frowned. Although my strength is indeed not as good as yours, it doesn't mean that I'm really afraid of you. I'm from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. What can you really do to me? Are you stupid? Is Yang Jianan from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? Do I dare to kill him? Xiao Qin asked, somewhat amused. Wang Chake was directly silenced by this sentence. He hesitated for a moment and said, Okay, I admit that I lost. Let's be serious. What do you want me to do? Kill him. Don't you understand? Xiao Qin pointed at Gao Bisi. You. Wang Chake was a little annoyed. Don't joke. How can I kill him? If I kill him, I'll be finished when I go back. If you don't kill him, you'll be finished now. Xiao Qin smiled. You. Wang Chake really regretted it. Now he was in a difficult position. It was impossible for him to leave smoothly. Xiao Qin clearly wanted to find trouble with him. Thinking of this, Wang Chake could only say, I'll beat him up. Can I not kill him? Xiao Qin pretended to be deep in thought. Wang Chake's heart was pounding at the side. Just as Xiao Qin was about to agree, a person suddenly ran over from not far away. It was actually Qi Zhigao. And as he ran he shouted, Boss brother Xiao, it's bad. Something happened. Qi Zhigao? What's wrong? Xiao Qin ignored Wang Chake and looked at Qi Zhigao. However, he saw Wang Chake trying to slip away from the corner of his eye. He immediately grabbed his collar and warned, If you dare to leave, I'll kill you first. I'm not leaving. I'm just moving my body. Wang Chake jumped up in fright and then quickly said, 3 laps to the left and 3 to the right, twisting my neck and twisting my butt. Brother Xiao, this morning the Gao family brought people from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau to our Qi family to find trouble. They want to confiscate all the Qi family's businesses. The crime is that I attacked the Gao family's disciple, Gao Bisi. Gao Bisi is here too? After Qi Zhigao finished speaking, his face became extremely gloomy. He looked at Gao Bisi and shouted hoarsely, Gao Bisi, you're really something. You actually treated us like this? Wang Chake was about to explode. Gao Bisi F***ck your ancestors. You're looking for trouble for me, aren't you? Xiao Qin knows Qi Zhigao? It seems like they're on good terms. Aren't you trying to trick me? Xiao Qin never played by the rules. He did whatever he wanted. He dared to hit anyone and kill anyone. There was no good in offending him. Wang Chake, what's going on? Explain it to me. Xiao Qin turned around and asked. I don't know. Wang Chake wanted to deny it. Slap. Xiao Qin sent a slap over, directly slapping half of Wang Chake's face. I don't want to listen to your nonsense. It's all his fault. It's all that bastard Gao Bisi's fault. He lied to me. It was all his idea. At most, I was bewitched. Wang Chake knew that the only thing he could do was to sacrifice the rook to save the king. Protecting Gao Bisi at this time was tantamount to courting death. Oh, since you hate him so much, come on. I'll give you a chance. Beat him to death and I'll believe you. Xiao Qin said lightly. Wang Chake suddenly saw that the noise had attracted some classmates. They were walking over, so he had an idea and said, There are many outsiders here. It's not good to fight. Why don't I let it go this time? Next time I'll definitely find a chance. Oh, get in. Xiao Qin directly grabbed Gao Bisi and threw him on the floor of the room like a dead dog. At this moment, Gao Bisi finally understood that he had no room to resist in Xiao Qin's hands. He was easily grabbed and thrown on the floor. He had no strength to resist at all. You come in too. Xiao Qin grabbed Wang Chake's collar and pushed him into the room. Then he said to Qi Zhigao, Come in and close the door. I'll show you what it means to close the door and beat the dog. Oh. Qi Zhigao was a little dumbfounded. Xiao Qin was too fierce. Although he was not familiar with Wang Chake, he knew him. He knew that this person was the deputy team leader of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's Team B. Xiao Qin actually carried him in like a dog. This really subverted his usual perception. Okay, beat him. Xiao Qin said lightly to Wang Chake, I'll give you a quarter of an hour. If you can't beat him to death, I'll beat you to death. Don't doubt me. At worst I'll run again. Oh yes, I can disguise myself as you. At that time I'll be colleagues with Yang Jianan. Haha, I'm such a genius to think of such a good idea. Wang Chake almost cried when he heard Xiao Chen's words. The last thought in his heart completely dissipated. He knew that Xiao Chen was right. If he killed him, he could disguise himself and enter the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. No one would know that he was dead. That would be a tragedy. And he had no doubt that Xiao Chen would do this. Yang Jianan was a living example. How is it? A quarter of an hour is up. Xiao Chen said, let's start. So fast? Not yet? Wang Chake was stunned. Oh, I said it's time and it's time. Xiao Chen said, this is the time of the dogs. You are the same as them. Wang Chake was speechless. Isn't he calling me a dog? However, he didn't dare to refute. He could only turn his head and look at Gao Bisi. No, Brother Wang, don't hit me. Gao Bisi was finally afraid. He finally understood that Brother Wang, who was usually arrogant in the Jinwu family, was like a grandson in front of Xiao Chang. He was even worse than a grandson. Gao Bisi, don't hate me. You can only blame yourself. You shouldn't have tricked me. You cheater. If I knew that Xiao Chen was here, I would never have come. Wang Chake took a deep breath and said, No. Gao Bisi knelt on the ground and began to kowtow. I'm sorry. Brother Wang, I was wrong. Please forgive me. There's no other way. It's not that I don't forgive you. It's that Xiao Chen doesn't forgive you. Wang Chake shook his head. Xiao Chen, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I shouldn't have had any ideas about Xiao. I was really wrong. Gao Bisi could see that Xiao Chen really dared to kill. Hurry up and do it. Xiao Chen frowned. He was a little impatient. All right. Gao Bisi suddenly exploded. He turned around and ran in the direction of Xiao. Obviously he wanted to kidnap Xiao. He had no other choice now. If he could kidnap Xiao Chen would be afraid to take action. He could also take the opportunity to escape. As for Wang Chake, he also saw this point, but did not stop him immediately because he did not want to kill Gao Bisi. Now that there was a chance to turn things around, he naturally wanted Gao Bisi to successfully kidnap him. That way he could avoid this disaster. Chapter 721. However, Gao Bisi's idea was good. Before he could run to Xiao, he was grabbed by the hair by Xiao Chen. His whole body was swung up and he fell to the ground with a heavy "pa" sound. He vomited a lot of blood. Xiao Chen was a cultivator. Although his strength was equivalent to the 3rd level of the Devil Master, how much strength did he put into this? Even if he didn't use any martial arts technique, Gao Bisi was still seriously injured from the fall. Cough, puff. Gao Bisi began to vomit blood. Kill him. Xiao Chen looked at Wang Chake. Yes. Wang Chake had no choice but to nod his head. Wait a minute. Xiao Chen suddenly stopped him. You don't have to kill him? Wang Chake was relieved. Gao, you do it. Leave one last breath. Let him hit the last punch. Xiao Chen said to Gao, hit him like how he hit you yesterday. Gao had wanted to return it long ago, but Xiao Chen didn't say anything. He didn't dare to act rashly. Now that he had the chance, he naturally wouldn't hold back. He walked over and kicked. Wang Chake was speechless. Let me hit him in the end? Didn't I beat him to death? This Xiao Chen is really King evil. However, he didn't dare to say it. He only dared to think about it in his heart. As Gao got into the fight, he also imitated Gao Bisi's action yesterday. He jumped up and stomped on Gao Bisi's back with both feet, making a kacha sound of broken bones. Go to hell. Gao was like playing on a trampoline jumping around. Puff. Gao Bisi vomited another mouthful of blood. He actually closed his eyes with a crack sound. He was beaten to death by Gao. Xiao Chen wanted to stop it, but it was too late. Gao was also shocked and his face turned pale. Xiao Chen asked him to leave one last breath, but he was too excited and beat him to death. This. Gao looked at Xiao Chen worriedly. Young hero Xiao, don't worry. I won't say anything. I definitely won't. Wang Chake hurriedly promised. Although he did not have to kill Gao Bisi, Xiao Chen would not silence him, right? However, Xiao Chen looked at Wang Chake coldly, then squatted down and sent a wave of essence into Gao Bisi's body. Gao Bisi's eyes snapped open, and he had a terminal lucidity. Save me, Brother Wang, save me. All right, it's your turn. Xiao Chen looked at Wang Chake. Sigh. Wang Chake did not expect Gao Bisi to come back to life. He did not know what method Xiaoqin had used. Although he could see that Gao Bisi might be making a final struggle before death, he had no choice but to step forward and kick Gao Bisi in the head, flattening it. Since he had made a move, he had to be more ruthless, lest Xiaoqin find fault with him again. With Gao Bisi dead, Wang Chake looked at Xiaoqin again and said, "Young hero Xiao now, can I leave?" "Leave? Who allowed you to leave?" Xiaoqin retorted. "Can't I leave after killing Gao Bisi?" Wang Chake asked carefully with a bitter face. "What happened to the Qi family?" asked Xiaoqin. This. Wang Chake suddenly recalled that Gao Bisi's matter was settled, but the Qi family's matter was not over yet. He was secretly annoyed. Gao Bisi's death would solve everything, but he left behind a mess. Xiaoqin clearly had his eyes on him. If he did not give an explanation today, he would not be able to leave easily. Wang Chake could only sigh and say, "This matter has to start from when Gao Bisi contacted me yesterday, say it?" Xiaoqin nodded and said, "Well said. I promise I won't kill you. After all, my sister only asked me to kill the person who knocked on the door. It was that fool Gao Bisi. You don't have to die." Okay. Wang Chake responded quickly, although he didn't know what was going on and why he had to kill Gao Bisi. As for Xiao Xiao, when she heard that Xiaoqin surrounded Gao Bisi who she killed, she was a little happy. It seemed that her brother was still the best to her. It was just that the scene was a bit too bloody. Fortunately, Xiao Xiao was born in a martial arts family. Such a scene was still bearable. However, she found that she really didn't know her brother. Xiaoqin had changed. He was completely different from the previous cowardly Xiaoqin. He had become arrogant and strong. It was as if he did not put any enemy in his eyes and directly crushed them. Gao Bisi said that Qi Zhigao was killed by him. Of course, Qi Zhigao was young hero Zhao's younger brother. How could he die? It was Gao Bisi the fool who died. Wang Chake flattered Xiaoqin calmly and then continued, "This guy was afraid of getting involved. After all, the Qi family can't be underestimated. If they really caused trouble, he was afraid of getting into trouble. So, he planned to kill them all, so he contacted me." As he spoke, Wang Chake didn't dare to hide anything. He told Xiaoqin everything he discussed with Gao Bisi. Xiaoqin sneered, and Qi Zhigao, who was on the side, was trembling with anger. He didn't expect Gao Bisi to be so bad. "So, the Qi family is currently in trouble with the Gao family and the Supernatural Investigation Bureau?" Xiaoqin frowned and asked with some displeasure. "It should be." Wang Chake nodded. "Yes, boss. They have already gone to the Qi family. They are now at the Qi family. I just came to you in a hurry because of this matter." Qi Zhigao said quickly. "What are you waiting for? Let's go to the Qi family now." Xiaoqin said straightforwardly. It just so happened that the Qi family was in a nearby city. It wasn't far and it was only an hour's drive. "Thank you, boss." Qi Zhigao was very happy and quickly thanked him. "And you guys go and get ready, then wait for me downstairs. Wang Chake, you can run, but after you run you have to bear the consequences. You know what kind of person I am and you know what I can do." Xiaoqin smiled. "No, I definitely can't run." Wang Chake's heart skipped a beat, and he quickly smiled with a sad face. "I will go down and wait for young hero Xiao now." Qi Zhigao saw that Xiao Xiao was still lying on the bed, and he knew that it might be inconvenient for him to be here, so he quickly left. Xiaoqin closed the door and with a fireball he burned Gao Bisi's body to ashes. Xiao Xiao was slightly stunned and a little surprised. "Brother, it's burned just like that?" "And I burned it?" Xiaoqin smiled. "If you are disobedient, I will burn it for you too." "Humph, you are the one who is reluctant." Xiao Xiao didn't believe it. She pouted and said, "Right, brother, I have to put on my clothes. Can you hide first?" "Why are you avoiding me today? Didn't you never carry me behind your back? You have been swaying in your underwear in front of me since a long time ago." Xiaoqin was a little puzzled. "Now that I have grown up, I am a little embarrassed." Xiao Xiao said, "Why, brother? Haven't you seen enough?" I'm going to the bathroom." Although Xiaoqin had some doubts about why Xiao Xiao suddenly began to avoid him, this was a good thing after all. After all, there was a difference between men and women, and it was the same for biological siblings. Xiaoqin went to the bathroom. Xiao Xiao quickly put on her clothes, but after putting on her clothes she looked for something on the bed. After looking for a while, she smiled with satisfaction and said, "Brother, I am done. You can come out." Xiaoqin came out of the bathroom and put on his coat. "Let's go to the Qi family to take a look. I can only ask for leave for today's class reunion. Is there any problem?" "Of course not." Xiao Xiao shook her head indifferently. I will ask for leave in the class QQ group. After Xiao Xiao sent the message, they went downstairs and came to the parking lot. Sure enough, Wang Chake didn't dare to leave. Qi Zhigao stood beside him and they were talking about something. What was interesting was that when Wang Chake talked to Qi Zhigao, he even had some flattery. It seemed that he wanted Qi Zhigao to help him say a few good words to Xiao Chen. Qiao Yuling stood on the side with a sense of glory on her face, as if the person Wang Chake was flattering was her. Young hero Xiao, you are here. Wang Chake said with a smile. And I am here. I want to ask you, did you call Pang Fengda? Did you tell that guy to stop? Asked Xiao Chen. I called, but the phone was turned off. Wang Chake couldn't help but smile bitterly. When we perform tasks, the phone is usually turned off. Usually? I think it was intentional this time, right? Xiao Chen sneered. Then didn't you ask Qi Zhigao to call the Qi family and then you went to talk to them? I called. Pang Fengda naturally didn't believe that I called and he didn't answer. Said Wang Chake. Oh, it seems that he wants to die. Let's go. I originally thought that if he stopped I wouldn't go, but now I have to go. After Xiao Chen said this, he got in the car directly and said, the three of you follow too. AI. Wang Chake got in the car and felt sad for Pang Fengda in his heart. Why don't you answer the phone? Why don't you answer the phone? It's really infuriating. If you answer the phone, Xiao Chen, this ruthless person won't go. Now I am in trouble because of you. Of course he didn't dare to say this. He could only sit in the back obediently. Although Qi Zhigao was a little anxious, since Xiao Chen had already taken care of this matter, it would definitely be solved satisfactorily in the end. Brother, I'm a little uncomfortable. When you pass by the hospital, put me down. I will go for a physical examination. I won't go to the Qi family. When you are done, come back to pick me up, okay? Xiao Xiao said after getting in the car. Xiao Xiao, what's wrong with you? Xiao Chen was shocked and asked quickly, where do you feel uncomfortable? It's not that. It's just a girl's problem. My stomach hurts a little, but it's nothing. Xiao Xiao said vaguely. Well, that's fine. I will put you down later. Xiao Chen didn't ask any more, so he nodded and agreed. The car flew all the way to Huan City, where the Qi family was located. According to the navigation, they passed by a relatively large hospital. Xiao Chen put Xiao Xiao down and told her to call immediately if there was anything, then he drove to the Qi family. Chapter 722. Xiao Xiao didn't check for a stomachache. Instead, she went to the hospital's consultation office and asked, I want to have a DNA test. Where do I need it? They went all the way to the Qi family's house. The gate of the Qi family's courtyard was open. There were many cars parked inside. They had the license plates of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, but most of them were the Gao family's cars. It seemed that these people were gathered in the Qi family's living room. Lead the way. Xiao Chen said to Qi Zhigao and Wang Chake after getting out of the car. The two hurriedly led the way and helped Xiao Chen open the door of the living room. Xiao Chen walked into the living room with Qiao Yuling following behind. As soon as they entered the door, they saw the Qi family, the Gao family, and the Supernatural Investigation Bureau confronting each other. Gao Dingyang, our Qi family and your Gao family have no grievances. How is it possible that our Qi Zhigao attacked Gao Bisi? And I have just called Qi Zhigao. There is no such thing. The person who spoke was a man in his 40s. He was Qi Zhigao's father, Tiger Qi. Don't talk nonsense. Qi Zhigao has been executed by Gao Bisi on the spot. Where are you going to call? Gao Dingyang sneered. I'm dead. Qi Zhigao happened to hear this sentence and immediately said, Who told you that I'm dead? Gao Dingyang suddenly turned his head and looked at Qi Zhigao. Who are you? I am naturally Qi Zhigao. Aren't you looking for me? You said that I'm dead? Qi Zhigao laughed. You. Gao Dingyang was a little surprised, but when he saw Wang Chake beside Qi Zhigao, he was suddenly stunned. He didn't know Qi Zhigao, but he knew Wang Chake. So he quickly asked, Deputy Team Leader Wang, this is? This is Qi Zhigao. Pang Fengda, look who's here. Wang Chake reminded Pang Fengda over there. Oh. Pang Fengda was stunned. He immediately saw Xiao Chen and his face changed. Xiao Chen, why are you here? I'm here to kill you, Xiao Chen said indifferently. You. Pang Fengda was shocked and widened his eyes. Xiao Chen, are you confused? What does this have to do with you? Are you here to threaten me? Whether it's a threat or not, think about it yourself. Xiao Chen turned around and looked at Gao Dingyang mockingly. He said indifferently, Gao Dingyang, you brought people to provoke the Qi clan. Have you thought about the consequences of this? What consequences? Who are you? Gao Dingyang was a little baffled, but this person had come with Wang Chake, so he didn't dare to slight him. Deputy Team Leader Wang, this is Xiaoqin. As you can see, it has nothing to do with me. It was the Gao family who bewitched me. That's why I attacked the Qi family. As he spoke, Wang Chake kept signaling Pang Fengda with his eyes. Old Wang, what do you mean? Pang Fengda was puzzled. Come with me for a moment. Wang Chake had no choice but to pull Pang Fengda to the side and lowered his voice. Now that Xiaoqin is involved in this matter, do you still want to continue? Do you want to die? Why would I want to die? What does Xiaoqin have to do with this matter? Can he still interfere with the affairs of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? Pang Fengda looked displeased. Are you really stupid or just pretending? Who do you think Xiaoqin is? If he wants to kill you, can you beat him? Wang Chake looked exasperated. Would he dare? Pang Fengda was in disbelief. Whether he dares or not, just look at Yang Jianan. Wang Chake shook his head. Just now, he wanted to kill me, then said that he would disguise himself as me and go to the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. You know, if Xiaoqin says it, he will definitely do it. Moreover, his strength is superb. In front of him, there is no room for resistance. Oh. Pang Fengda was shocked. He finally understood why Wang Chake was so cautious. It turned out that he had been threatened by Xiaoqin before. His face suddenly became gloomy, and he hesitated for a moment. Now that things have reached this point, what should we do? Gao Bisi, under Xiaoqin's coercion, I had to kill him. Do you think I have a choice? Wang Chake smiled bitterly. What? Gao Bisi was killed by you? Pang Fengda suddenly turned pale with fright. So, we are irreconcilable with the Gao family? What do you think? Wang Chake could only nod. Well then let's directly target the Gao family now? Pang Fengda asked. That's the only way. Wang Chake said. Xiaoqin's strength seems to be stronger again. We are no match for him at all. Gao Dingyang, your son, Gao Bisi, deceived the Supernatural Investigation Bureau and falsely accused the Qi family. We have executed him on the spot. Now you also come with us. As for the previous execution of the Qi family, all of them are cancelled. Pang Fengda walked over and suddenly said loudly. What? Gao Dingyang heard Pang Fengda's words and was a little confused. Nothing, come with me. Wang Chake walked directly over, grabbed Gao Dingyang's shoulder, and locked his arms behind his back. Let go of the family head. When the entourage of the Gao family saw that the Supernatural Investigation Bureau wanted to take Gao Dingyang away, they were a little angry and blocked in front of Wang Chake. Why is the Gao family rebelling? Do you want to go against the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? Pang Fengda said coldly, do you have the right to stop the Supernatural Investigation Bureau from taking anyone back for investigation? The Gao family suddenly had a dilemma. You can leave now. I will go back and see what the situation is. Gao Dingyang also knew that he could not resist at this moment. Otherwise, it would be tantamount to going against the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. He also saw the situation. The person brought back by Qi Zhigao might be a powerful person that even the Supernatural Investigation Bureau was afraid of. However, he did not think too much about it because the Supernatural Investigation Bureau was also involved in this matter. In his opinion, it was just a formality and the matter was over. Taking him back was actually a way to get out of the situation. After going back, there would be nothing to do. Yes. When the Gao family heard the family head say so, they quickly dispersed and hurried out of the Qi family's house. They got into the car and left. Gao Dingyang, on the other hand, was taken to the Supernatural Investigation Bureau's car. However, when he got into the car, he was still escorted by Wang Chake like a criminal. He was a little unhappy. Deputy Team Leader Wang, that's enough. Isn't this just a formality? Who told you it was a formality? Wang Chake glared and said, I tell you, Gao Dingyang, your Gao family's Gao Bisi is suspected of deceiving us and has been executed on the spot. Now it's your turn. What? Bisi, he really? Gao Dingyang's expression changed. He could not believe it. Gao Bisi was really dead. He had thought it was a lie before. Nonsense, he's already dead. Wang Chake snorted coldly. Since he had chosen to express his loyalty to Xiaoqin, Wang Chake would not give the Gao family any face. How can you go back on your word? Aren't you working with our Gao family? When Gao Dingyang heard this, his eyes suddenly became bloodshot. He wanted to fight Wang Chake, but he was no match for him. He could not even break free. Wang Chake was a martial master and Gao Dingyang was only a half-step martial master. A martial artist at the peak of the 10th level great perfection could not compete with him. Cut the crap. Let me tell you, the Gao family is finished. Wang Chake sneered. What do you mean by working with us? We were just deceived. If you want to talk about it, it's all Gao BC's fault. I want to complain. I want to complain to your superior. You've tricked our Gao family. Gao Dingyang roared. Oh, do what you want. Wang Chake said faintly. Xiaochen watched Wang Chake and Pang Fingda take Gao Dingyang away. He did not say anything. It was up to them to deal with it, but it would be good if he could take this opportunity to trick them. After finding an empty corner, Xiaochen dialed Xia Zhili's number. Xiaochen, what's the matter? Xia Zhili asked. Previously, I'm very sorry about the Cheng family. I couldn't help you and they were taken away in the end. It's like this. There's a chance to attack Wang Chake and Pang Fingda. Xiaochen said, Deputy Bureau Chief Xia, aren't you in charge of Team B now? I couldn't be the team leader on my side, so I directly became the Deputy Bureau Chief. Now that the Deputy Team Leader of Team B is vacant, the one with the best chance is Wang Chake. I believe Deputy Bureau Chief Xia wants to stop him, right? Yes, Wang Chake is disobedient. He is not one of my people. He is closer to Song Billion. I have long wanted to get rid of him. Xiaochen, do you have a good idea? Xia Zhili said bluntly. There were too many common secrets between him and Xiaochen, so he didn't care about these. Yes, it's like this. Xiaochen told Xia Zhili about Wang Chake and Pang Fingda's private cooperation with the Gao family. You think of a way to make an article. In a few days I will go back for a meeting. Let's attack them at the meeting. Ah, there's such a good opportunity? No problem, I got it. There will definitely be a meeting in a few days. At that time we will kill him together. Xia Zhili said, although it's not enough to remove him from the deputy team leader position, it also makes him have no chance to be the team leader. And that's what I mean. Xiaochen nodded. After hanging up the phone, Qi Zhigao had already told the Qi family what had happened. Qi Zhigao's father, Qi Tiger, Qi Zhigao's grandfather, Qi Tianzhan, and Qi Ziyuan's father, Qi Laobao, came over one after another. Young hero Xiao, thank you very much for your help. Qi Tianzhan said with a fist and palm salute. Zhigao has already told me that we can escape this time thanks to young hero Xiao. Otherwise, the Qi family would really be finished this time. I'm really happy for Zhigao to have a friend like you. Qi Tiger also said. If Qi Zhigao hadn't provoked Gao BC outside, we wouldn't have gotten into such trouble. An uncoordinated voice sounded. It was Qi Ziyuan's father, Qi Laobao. Chapter 723. He was naturally unhappy to see Qi Zhigao in the limelight. Qi Zhigao and Qi Ziyuan were both competitors for the heir of the Qi family. Of course he did not want to see Qi Zhigao get better. Who is this man? Xiaochen's face turned cold as he looked at Qi Zhigao. It's my second uncle. Qi Zhigao saw Xiaochen's face change and quickly said, Brother Xiao, don't be angry. My second uncle doesn't know how to speak. Slap. Xiaochen slapped Qi Laobao and sent him flying. Qi Laobao fell heavily on the ground not far away. He spat out a few teeth and half of his face had become red steamed buns. You should know how Gao BC died. Don't say such ambiguous words in front of me. This time I will let it go for Qi Zhigao's sake, but next time you will die. Xiaochen looked at Qi Laobao indifferently and said, I have nothing to do with the Qi family. It was just a coincidence that I helped them. Qi Zhigao and I are friends. Remember, I am only doing this for Qi Zhigao. Don't think that you are a big shot. In my eyes, those martial arts sects and real martial arts families are nothing, not to mention an ordinary family. Young Master Xiao, please calm down. Qi Tianzhan quickly said, Laobao's words are not pleasant to hear. Please don't take it to heart. Thank you for your help this time. I hope that your friendship with Zhigao can continue. Although Zhigao did not become your brother-in-law, I know that your relationship has always been good. Yes. Xiaochen nodded and said, My words are not pleasant to hear, but you can also understand it this way. I may not care about the Qi family, but I will try my best to help Qi Zhigao. After that, Xiaochen patted Qi Zhigao on the shoulder and then smiled. He believed that the Qi family was not stupid and could understand the hidden meaning of his words. That was only when Qi Zhigao was promoted would Xiaochen help the Qi family. Qi Tianzhan's eyes flashed, but Qi Laobao was very annoyed. How could he not understand the meaning of Xiaochen's words? However, he didn't dare to make a sound. This time he was beaten up badly. He was a stage 8 inner force martial artist, but he couldn't defend himself at all in front of Xiao Qin. What kind of strength was this? However, he was also somewhat unwilling. Xiao Qin was just a descendant of an ordinary declining aristocratic family. How could he possess such ability? How was this possible? The Qi family was much more powerful than the Xiao family, but they still needed help from others. Thank you, young hero Xiao. Tiger Qi also understood this and quickly thanked him. There's no need to thank me. I just happened to be here. Also, I have something to do, so I'll take my leave first, Xiao Qin said. After that, he glanced at Qiao Yuling and warned her lightly, you stay with Qi Zhigao and behave yourself or I don't mind. Xiao Qin did not finish his words and strode out of the Qi family's living room. He believed that Qiao Yuling should understand that these things were actually caused by Qiao Yuling and had little to do with Qi Zhigao. This woman was jumping up and down, but Qi Zhigao still wanted her. Xiao Qin did not understand, but he would not interfere. He just threatened her and left. Boss, let me see you off. Qi Zhigao quickly followed him out. Xiao Qin got in the car, and Qi Zhigao also sat in the co-driver's seat. Xiao Qin glanced at him and did not rush to start the car. Obviously, Qi Zhigao had something to say, so he looked at him and did not speak. He just smiled faintly. Boss, am I very useless? Qi Zhigao was a little self-deprecating. I found a woman, but it's so shameful. Do you look down on me a little? This is your own choice. I can't comment on anything, but Qiao Yuling is really not a good woman. I don't understand why you are still with her. Xiao Qin saw that Qi Zhigao said so, so he also said, AI, it's for the family business. Now the Qi family and the Qiao family have launched a comprehensive cooperation. In Songning City, many businesses are handled by the Qiao family and the Qin family. If there is a conflict, the business of the Qiao family will be shut down. At that time the impact will not be small. Qi Zhigao sighed. Sometimes think about it. Everything will be over if you endure it. Up to you. This is still your own consideration. I can't say anything. Xiao Qin patted Qi Zhigao and said, if you need me you can contact me. After all, we have known each other for a long time. And I know brother Xiao. Qi Zhigao looked very happy. I can't be with Xiao Xiao anymore and you still help me like this. It's nothing. Your indecisive character is not suitable for Xiao Xiao. She doesn't like boys with this kind of character. It's not necessarily a bad thing that you can't be together. Well, let's not talk about this. I'm leaving first. I still have to pick up Xiao Xiao. Xiao Qin said. And boss, goodbye. Qi Zhigao got out of the car and waved to Xiao Qin. Xiao Qin drove to the door of the hospital and dialed Xiao Xiao's phone. Originally, the DNA test needed to be done the next day, but Xiao Xiao added money and rushed it, so the results were quickly obtained. I'm sorry, the test results prove that Miss and the test subject have no blood relationship. The doctor looked at the report and explained. Generally, the DNA test was actually a paternity test. Although Xiao Xiao looked very young, it didn't mean that she had no children, so the doctor still said in an apologetic tone. Really? No relationship? Really no relationship? That's great. When Xiao Xiao saw the result, she was so happy that she almost jumped up. Seems that I was really picked up. That's great, miss. I'm sorry for your loss. The doctor was shocked. He thought that Xiao Xiao was crazy. She was so sad that she was going to have a mental illness. Sorry for your loss? Why should I be sorry for your loss? I was picked up, okay? Xiao Xiao looked at the doctor strangely. Really, what a strange person. Ah. The doctor was confused this time. Why is it good to be picked up? Is she so happy that she isn't born by her parents? However, since Xiao Xiao said so, he couldn't say anything. Xiao Xiao's phone rang. When she saw the caller ID, she picked it up happily. Brother. Where are you? I'm downstairs in the hospital. How are you? Have you done the test? Asked Xiao Qin. It's done. There's nothing else. I'm going down now. Xiao Xiao went downstairs happily. At the door of the hospital, she saw Xiao Qin's car. Brother, you solved it so quickly? Aren't you the same? I thought it would take a long time to check. I wanted to go up and take a look. I didn't expect you to be done already. Xiao Qin looked at Xiao Xiao and smiled. Yeah, it's actually nothing. I'm just being paranoid. Xiao Xiao smiled. Brother, are we going back to the class reunion? If you want to go back and take a look. Xiao Qin didn't care. Then let's go back. It's only 10 o'clock. We'll play until the evening today. Xiao Xiao suggested. Okay, then I'll listen to you. Xiao Qin naturally didn't care. He drove back to Immortal Resort again. When Xiao Qin and Xiao Xiao went back, they met the class monitor, Qin Muzhen. He was quite puzzled. When he saw Xiao Xiao, he couldn't help but ask, "Xiao Xiao, didn't you ask for leave? Why haven't you left yet?" "Oh, I suddenly had nothing to do, so I didn't leave." Xiao Xiao simply said that she didn't leave to save a lot of explanations. "If that's the case, then it's just right. Everyone is getting ready to gather. We'll climb the mountain together later. You should come too." Qin Muzhen nodded and didn't doubt it. "Okay." Xiao Xiao replied, "Brother, are we going now? And you decide." Xiao Qin didn't care. He had climbed the mountain before, so it wasn't interesting. However, there was nothing else to play in this resort. Climbing the mountain was one of the events. He followed Qin Muzhen to the square outside. At this time, the students had also arrived. The incident in the morning only attracted some people's curiosity, but they didn't pay much attention to it. Gao Bisi's disappearance didn't cause too much suspicion. After all, he disappeared last night and no one knew where he went. As for Qi Zhigao and Chao Yuling's disappearance, everyone felt that it was reasonable. After all, they made a fool of themselves yesterday. It was normal to be embarrassed to come. Today our main event is to climb the mountain. Of course, if your legs are not good, you don't have to go," Qin Muzhen said. This immediately attracted a burst of laughter from the students present. "We are all young people. How can our legs be bad?" So they responded, "When are we going to climb? We can't wait." "Then I won't say much, but you must listen to the command later. Don't walk around casually. There may be danger on this mountain. We can only take the paths that are opened," Qin Muzhen exhorted. "Understood." Everyone nodded in agreement. In addition to Xiao Zhao's classmates, there were other tourists who came here for vacation. At this time they were also climbing the mountain. They didn't know why, but after a few steps there was a conflict in front. Not good, the class monitor was beaten up. The classmate in front shouted and then said, "Boys, attack together. The other party has more people. Kill them." This roar caused the blood of the boys in the class to boil. Qin Muzhen was very popular in the class. She was a good class monitor and everyone supported her. When they heard that she had been beaten, they immediately became anxious and rushed forward. "Why is there a fight?" Xiao Qin was stunned. He didn't expect such a situation to happen. "I don't know. Let's go and take a look." "Brother, you help them. Don't let the students suffer," Xiao Xiao said. "And let's go and take a look." Xiao Qin nodded and squeezed through the crowd with the other guys. He saw Qin Muzhen lying on the ground with her head bleeding, but the other party was extremely arrogant. "A few stinky students. How dare you be so arrogant? Didn't you just ask how much it costs to sleep with someone for a night? You even scolded me?" The man who beat her pointed at Qin Muzhen fiercely and said, "Who asked you to be a busybody? Class monitor? What's wrong with class monitor? You are just an idiot." Chapter 724. Let's go together and beat them up. A tall and sturdy man shouted angrily. "Sure, let's go." The man who beat them up was extremely arrogant. There were also a few strong men around him. It was obvious that they were not to be trifled with. He waved his hand and said disdainfully, "Go, if you dare to come and die, then come. I'm not afraid to tell you that we are from the Ox family dojo. Don't be impulsive, don't be impulsive." At this time the tour guide who brought them up the mountain also came over. As there were more tourists going up the mountain today, the tour guide was in charge of several groups of tourists. He was in front. When he heard the conflict here, he quickly ran over. When he saw the man who beat them up, his expression changed. Obviously he knew him. He quickly said to the students here, "Everyone, let's forget about it. They are all martial artists. What's wrong with martial artists?" The tall and sturdy boy was a little dissatisfied. "He beat up our class monitor. If we let it go like this, it's not the right thing to do." Yes, we can't let it go," the students echoed. Some things can't be explained to you students. In short, this society is not as simple as you think. These people, how do I put it? Martial artists are just a title. They are much more powerful than ordinary people. When they reach this level, it is difficult for ordinary people to compete with them. The tour guide obviously knew something. This Ox family dojo is a very powerful existence in the local area. Is he one of those legendary warriors? The tall and sturdy boy was stunned. He seemed to have thought of something. It seemed that he knew about it. They are cultivators? Yes, it seems that you know. Then don't conflict with them. It won't do you any good, the tour guide advised. When the tall and sturdy boy heard this, he obviously retreated. However, the previous clamor made him a little embarrassed. He didn't know how to deal with it for a moment. How is it? Are you afraid? If you are afraid, let this girl accompany me for a night, and this matter will be over. The man who beat them up sneered and pointed to a female student behind Chinmuzhen. It's not that I'm not paying you. Tell me how much for a night. The female student was a little afraid and kept hiding. A boy beside her was also filled with righteous indignation. That's enough. We all admit defeat. Don't push your luck. I gave you an inch and you want a foot? The man who hit him snorted coldly and was about to grab him when he was pushed by someone and stumbled. It was actually Xiao Xiao. Don't bully Li Xiener. What's wrong with being a martial artist? So what if you're a martial artist? Xiao Xiao was also a martialist. Although her strength was low, she was caught off guard and nearly pushed the burly man down. Shit. Oh. Who dares to push me? The man calmed himself down and raised his head. When he saw Xiao Xiao, his eyes lit up. She's a hot chick, but I like it. Since you like to meddle in other people's business, I'll let you have it. It's fine if you don't bully her, but come with us. As he spoke, the man was about to grab Xiao Xiao. Are you dreaming? Xiao Qin slapped the arm of the man who hit him. Instantly, the arm became distorted in an unnatural way. The arm that was full of muscles was beaten into a pile of soft flesh. It drooped down, and the bones inside were all shattered, turning into a pile of rotten flesh. Ouch! The man who hit him screamed. He was in so much pain that he broke out in a cold sweat. His eyes bulged out and he breathed in big mouthfuls of cold air. It hurts, brat, you're courting death. The few men behind the man were originally watching the show with the mentality of watching a joke. This was because the man who hit the man was a stage 5 inner force cultivator. He was very strong and he alone was enough to take care of these students. However, he did not expect that another student would come and cripple his arm with a single slap. These people immediately became anxious and were about to rush over and beat up Xiao Qin. No. Seeing that his companions were about to attack, the man who hit him hurriedly shouted, "He's a martial master." The few men who were about to rush over stopped in their tracks. The word martial master was like a magic barrier. They couldn't believe it, but they could not believe it. This was because the strength of the man who hit him was obvious. Even his arm was crippled in an instant. This person must have strength, but they didn't expect him to be a martial master. Now that the man who hit him had said it clearly, they didn't dare to say anything else. They could only look at Xiao Qin warily. Don't care who I am. Kneel down and kowtow now and I'll consider letting you go. Otherwise you'll be like him. I think it's good for you to be a one-armed person. Maybe after losing an arm, you'll be able to become a hero or something. Xiao Qin said lightly. The reversal of the situation only took an instant. Everyone was a little dumbfounded, especially the tour guide who looked at Xiao Qin in horror. One had to know that the people from the Ox family dojo were the local tyrants. They had always been the ones who bullied others. No one had been able to subdue them. But now, an ordinary student actually made these people from the dojo hesitant to take action. In fact, the people from the Ox family dojo never paid when they came to the resort to play. However, the boss had no choice but to treat them for free because these people were like gangsters in the local area. They were very arrogant. The students behind were also shocked at this moment. They didn't expect Xiao Xiao's boyfriend to be so powerful. Although they didn't know how serious the injuries of the man who hit him were, they knew it wasn't a good thing looking at his drooping arm. It was probably crippled. What? You're not kneeling? Xiao Qin frowned. They were just a few low-level martial artists, yet they were so arrogant in front of him. Those people from the true martial families and sects wouldn't be like this. No, why aren't you kneeling? Although the man who hit him was in pain, he knew the difference between a martial master and a martial artist. The other party was a martial master. No matter how they resisted, it was impossible for them to win. Therefore it was better to just admit defeat. He was the leader of this group, so when he spoke, the others also knelt down. Although they were unwilling, there was nothing they could do. We were wrong, let us go. The man who hit him said carefully with a black face. Forget it, let's go. Xiao Qin couldn't be bothered with them. They were all small fry. He didn't put them in his eyes at all, so he didn't want to waste any more time. Yes. The man who hit him crawled up, then pulled the few people around him and quickly left. The farce came and went quickly. At this time, Chinmuzhen had already wiped the blood off her face. Although the other party was a martial artist, he didn't kill her. After all, if he really wanted to kill her, Qin Muzhen wouldn't be his opponent. She might even be beaten to death. Most of Qin Muzhen's injuries were superficial. She was pushed and fell to the ground, so it wasn't a big deal after she wiped it clean and bandaged it. Xiao Chang, thank you. Qin Muzhen said to Xiao Qin gratefully, I didn't expect you to be so powerful. Your martial arts are so good. You should be from a big family, right? Xiao Qin smiled noncommittally and said, otherwise, how could I be worthy of Xiao Xiao? That's true. Qin Muzhen smiled and said, to be able to carry Goddess Xiao home, he isn't an ordinary person. That's right, I have good taste. Xiao Xiao said proudly, class monitor, can you continue to climb the mountain? Why not? Don't look down on me, it's just a small injury. Qin Muzhen shook her head and said, let's go, let's continue. This time the tour guide didn't go to the other groups. Instead he followed Xiao Chen and the others. Although these people were students, they couldn't offend a ruthless person like Xiao Chen. Didn't they see how miserable the people from the Niu family dojo were? Soon, everyone arrived at the mountainside, which was the place where Xiao Chen came last time. There was no more road in front. The tour guide let everyone move around freely here. After a while, they would gather together and go down the mountain. Xiao Xiao found a place to sit down. Xiao Chen walked over, looked at her and said, what's wrong? Are you tired? No, I just want to rest for a while. Xiao Xiao said, brother, sit down too. Okay. Xiao Chen sat next to Xiao Xiao. Brother, you can lie on my lap just like in the movies where the guy lies on the girl's lap. Xiao Xiao said, look over there, son Nanxue and brother Chen are starting to be intimate. Didn't you just tell me in the morning that men and women should be different? How can you forget in the blink of an eye? Xiao Chen said seriously. I was a little uncomfortable in the morning, so I was just playing with you. Do you really believe it? Xiao Xiao smiled and said, besides, we have to continue acting. Look at us now, we are so unfamiliar. We don't look like a couple at all. Xiao Chen was a little helpless, but he felt weird lying on Xiao Xiao's lap. He could only reach out and hug Xiao Xiao to appear more intimate. Is this okay? It's barely okay. It's not too intimate. Xiao Xiao leaned into Xiao Chen's arms again. Now she could be said to be unscrupulous. After confirming the matter in the hospital, Xiao Xiao didn't avoid it anymore. Before, she was still a little worried and uncertain. After all, it was just hearsay. If it wasn't true, it would be terrible. But now there was no problem at all. Modern medicine was very accurate. Whether it was Xiao Xiao's psychological or external problems, they had been solved. Xiao Chen shook his head. I thought you had thought it through. In the blink of an eye, you changed back. Yeah. I thought I was sick before, so I was a little worried. Now I went to see a doctor and I'm fine. Xiao Xiao nodded. Right, what's your problem? Is it serious? Xiao Chen suddenly remembered, so he asked again. It's nothing. It's just a little inflammation. Xiao Xiao casually said. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.